Well, welcome to Lancs TV and welcome to Emirates at Old Trafford, where the spot of rain that you might see on the camera lens, don't worry, it's not going to stick around. There's no suggestion whatsoever as I look to the part of the ground which is bathed in near sunshine to our left-hand side. This is the main event of the evening. Welcome to the Thunder's match in the Charlotte Edwards Cup against the Southern Vipers. I'm alongside Stuart Law, who is with us this evening, and it's going to be a fascinating thing to see. Not only same pitch, same conditions-ish, but also this big ramp up to what is a historic night for women's cricket.
Yeah, it's great to see too. You know, women's sport in general has taken a massive stride forward in the last couple of years, and yeah, this is no different tonight, taking over the main slot for the evening. We've just been entertained royally by the game previously, and yeah, hopefully this one will be just as good a contest.
We've had 400 plus runs already, and we're going to be treated to a lot more, aren't we?
Well, we are, yeah. You know, up against, the Southern Vipers, a very experienced team, good quality across their team as well, up against an up-and-coming side. So points to prove for the youngsters against the seniors.
Yeah, absolutely right. A young team of the Thunder will take to the field shortly. You can see around us all the warming up taking place against, as Stuart says, a team that has won 4 out of 4 so far in the Charlotte Edwards Cup. And if you've got any sense about how good they are coached by the person who this trophy is named after, Charlotte Edwards. There's more to come from Stuart Law, but it is time for the toss.
Well done.
We're just going to have a quick word with Ellie because we've already spoken to Ellie, but we just want to find out, you've won the toss, what are you going to do?
We're going to have a bat, I think. Pitch looks a belter, so yeah, can try and post a decent total and have a bat first.
Works for other people, so why not you?
Yeah, exactly.
Tell us a little bit about your team.
Yes, we've got Kate Cross and Sophie Eccleston coming back in from the last game. Unfortunately, Sachi Pai and Sophia Turner miss out.
Well, go well. Thank you very much indeed. Appreciate your time from earlier as well. Thank you, Ellie. You've done a lot of talking. So hand that over to George Adams, who is the Southern Vipers captain. You nearly ran off, but I grabbed you back. You'll be chasing. We've already seen a game on this pitch. We've had more than 400 runs. How do you feel about the chase?
Yeah, it looks a great pitch. We were going to have a bowl first anyway. We back ourselves with the ball, and we've done that very well so far in this tournament. So.
Yeah, you must be really proud of what you've done so far. The only team with a 100% record. What's been the secret behind that success?
I think we've got a lot of depth in the side, and it's been really pleasing to see different members of the team step up when it counts, and hopefully today we can bring it all together.
And as the captain, as you look around that team that you mentioned, full of experience, full of England internationals and superstars, do you think, this is quite a good job I've got?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously Anya coming in has been a godsend for me, and it's been brilliant having her part of the Vipers, and just having England players playing regularly in this tournament has just taken it from strength to strength.
Tell us about your team.
Strong.
Any changes from your last game?
Lauren Bell's come out.
All right, well, thank you very much indeed. We appreciate your time. That's George Adams, who is, of course, the captain of the Southern Vipers. 4 out of 4 wins so far, but it is the Thunder who have won the toss, and they will be batting first, as is customary not only here but on this pitch too. So let's now head out and speak to Carla. Now, Carla Threlfall recently spent some time with more than 1,500 school-aged children. She survived to tell this tale.
Welcome to Emirates Old Trafford, where today we have over 1,700 students from the local area here at the ground. The men are on the pitch, taking place in a county championship game against Essex, but all the real action is taking place behind the stand. Let's go and have a look. what's kind of been the best thing for you about bringing the kids here today?
The experience of coming to an international cricket stadium.
They don't get this kind of opportunity very often, and they have been so excited about it. Just finished their stats. It's a great way to celebrate.
So the fact that Lancashire have reached out and provided this opportunity for me is a massive deal for our kids.
I think a lot of it is about inspiring young kids, so giving young children a real positive experience about cricket, trying to improve young lives through cricket. We do a whole range of things. We look after the recreational game, but the inspirational aspect of young children picking up a bat and ball for the first time and how that can impact positively on their lives is something that I don't think you can really measure, so we're really proud of that.
I do want to see how they play and learn some new skills.
Well, I've loved the activities and I just love everything here.
Now guys, can I get a big cheer? Yeah! Emirates Old Trafford. We have had the best time, and I think all those children behind me have as well. If you fancy coming here to Lancashire very soon, we are just about to launch Vitality Blast for this season, and we would love to see you here.
Delighted to welcome Beth Barrett-Wild, head of the Women's 100 competition, to Emirates Old Trafford. Beth, warm welcome to Lancs TV, to the studios. How much are you looking forward to today?
Oh yeah, thanks so much for having me. I'm really excited about today. You know, it's a historic occasion. Women headlining here at Emirates Old Trafford. You know, that double-header format, really exciting. Will bring sort of profile and exposure for the women's game. And yeah, I can't wait to see it get underway later.
When you first heard about the idea that Lancashire were going to swap these games, play the men first, play the women's match second, what did you first think?
Oh, I thought it was brilliant. You know, I think everything we're trying to do around the women's game at the moment is really drive that profile and really build that audience. And I think the more opportunities we can get to put the women on the big stage in the best slots, it's really positive. So, yeah, when I first heard about it, I was like, that's a really brilliant initiative and move.
Yeah, I can imagine if you're a player in the dressing room as well, the prospect of being kind of the headline act at a big ground like this must be fantastic.
Yeah, I think so. I think, you know, increasingly with the women's game, we're seeing them really step up on that big occasion. And I think there's an element that, you know, there's a little bit, it's about time, and we should be getting those opportunities. But I'm sure the players will be really excited about tonight. And, yeah, chatting to a few of them over the last few days, they certainly are.
Now, the women's game in this country, over the course of the last couple of years, and I think it has been a couple of years in particular, has grown so quickly. You must be absolutely thrilled with how the women's cricket scene has developed and moved on.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was fortunate to work on the 2017 Women's World Cup, and I was there at that magical day at Lord's for the final, and I think everything that's happened since then, there's just been this explosion. And I think you're right, actually, the last kind of 18 months to 2 years, we've really seen that take off, and I think we've got a real platform now to drive forwards with. And I know as a game, we've got an ambition for cricket to be a gender-balanced sport moving forwards, and I think we're in the right direction there. Still a lot of work to do, but we're definitely closing that gap.
You mentioned that World Cup win. At the time, did you feel like that could be a real turning moment for women's cricket?
Yeah, definitely. I think so. I think, you know, you sell 27,000 tickets to a match at Lord's, and then the spectacle that it was, and you look at some of the kind of the audience demographics around that, really exciting. So, yeah, look, I think that was a momentous moment. I think, you know, since then we've really kicked on, and I think definitely off the back of the 100 and the women's regional structure and sort of the matches that like we have here tonight, we've got a brilliant platform now to move forwards from.
Do you feel that the way the structure's set up with the domestic game, the Charlotte Edwards Cup, the Rachel Hale-Flint Trophy, and that in and around the 100, are you quite excited about that? Yeah,
it's brilliant. I think, you know, they're three really elite level competitions for women to play in now, and I think actually just the message it sends to young girls that, you know, cricket can be a game that they can have a career in and that they can be professional players in, and sort of more and more opportunities moving forward. So I think having those three high profile competitions, it can only be a good thing.
Undoubtedly the 100 last year was a huge success, and that can only help kind of encourage and develop the broader game, perhaps.
Yeah, definitely. I think the scale and the visibility that the 100 brought, you know, we had over 260,000 people coming and watching those women's matches. I think a broadcast reach of around 8 million. You know, that is unprecedented visibility for women's cricket and actually women's sport in this country. So massive platform. You know, we go again this year. Hopefully we can go bigger and brighter, and just lots to look forward to, really. Yeah,
put the Commonwealth Games in the middle of all that. What a summer.
Absolutely. And yeah, the Com Games, I mean, that really is a unique, once in a generation opportunity actually for those players to get to play in a modern multi-games format, extensive coverage across the BBC. So yeah, again, just in terms of those opportunities, yeah, lots to look forward to this summer.
And just a final one on tonight, how much are you looking forward to watching this?
Oh, I can't wait. I think, you know, we've seen some brilliant performances. I think it's been quite unpredictable in a way, the Charlotte Edwards Cups this summer so far. So I think that sort of sets us up for a really good game. Some brilliant players going to be involved. So yeah, let's hope for a home win.
Brilliant. Thank you for joining us, Beth. Looking forward to it. Should be a great night.
So we're just about, 20 minutes to go or so until we start here. The Thunder have won the toss. They're going to be batting first. We've had the confirmed team news through after at least one captain was pretty sure about what was going on with their team. We've now checked with both of them. So here is the Southern Vipers side that will be chasing this evening. It is the captain, Georgia Adams, Danny Wyatt, Maya Bouchier, Paige Schofield, Georgia Elwis, Ella McCorn, Freya Kemp, Anya Shrubsole, Tara Norris, Carla Rudd and Charlie Dean. And for the Thunder this evening, those two changes, crucial changes, if you know your Thunder side and the star names within it: Emma Lamb, Georgie Boyce, Danny Collins, Ellie Threlkel, the captain and wicketkeeper, Sophie Eccleston, Laura Jackson, Kate Cross, Laura Marshall, Phoebe Graham, Hannah Jones and Alex Hartley.
Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh.
So Stuart Law has joined me alongside Alison Byrne, former Lancashire captain, who has taken her place on the field and immediately said the moment that she became the Cheshire captain after being the Lancashire captain after the split. The first game was a result in whose favour, Alison?
Cheshire, I'm afraid, but I wasn't afraid up that day. But
I like the fact
it was a good game. It was a good, fun game.
The first thing you brought up, yes, absolutely. Well, you're very welcome, Alison. Give us a sense, if you can, about this occasion, how important it is, because it's not just in the PR, it's not just in the how you phrase it. It genuinely is a great moment for the Thunder tonight.
It's fantastic. I mean, put it in perspective. When I was their age, shall we say, and in their position, I hadn't even stepped on the outfield. This is the second time I've stood on the pitch. Let alone played on it. We've come a long way in a relatively short time, and it's just an amazing experience for all of the players. Fantastic.
And all of the players have now had the opportunity to play, but I still imagine that the size of the place, the size of the pitch, just in the stands, and how dwarfed you feel by it all. You can't get used to that after just one game. You do need multiple occasions to become acclimatised.
I think it's the same with any situation. It does take time to acclimatise, but bearing in mind the quality of some of the players that are coming in for the Thunder tonight, you know, we've got World Cup winners, we've got England internationals. Same for the Vipers. They've got some very, very experienced teams. I don't think it will phase either side, to be fair.
Stuart, give us a sense. I mean, when you were coming through the ranks and you were able to play at those big test grounds in Australia and then coming over here and playing the test grounds too, how much of it is an acclimatisation? How much of it is look around and just kind of push it to one side, or do you need a moment almost?
No, I think you embrace it, because you know the history that's gone on this ground before we ever walked on this earth is it's amazing. If you go back through the history, the amount of, the Ashes Test matches, for me as an Australian coming over here and playing, it was the same in Australia, playing at the Sydney Cricket Ground, which is probably the equivalent to our Lords. The history that's gone before then, it's an amazing. You've got to soak it up. Instead of playing on out in the sticks on local league grounds, which are fantastic in this part of the world, don't get me wrong, but then you come out here. This is a stadium. This is where the greats of our game have walked before. What an opportunity now for the girls, and we have got a lot of international cricketers here on show tonight. What a great opportunity for everyone to come out and show their wares, not only to the people here in the ground, but to everybody back home watching or at home watching. It's a great opportunity for them.
Yeah, and the value of, as Alison mentioned, and we spoke to Ellie about a little bit earlier, Sophie Eccleston and Kate Cross coming back into the side after their T20 jaunts. The experience that they can bring in terms of their cricketing knowledge and experience, yes, that's fine, but also their comfort in this environment as well.
Yeah, where they've just been to, India, it's a cauldron. It's an amazing atmosphere, no matter what you're playing, what level you're playing. Everyone loves the game of cricket over there, and they will go and watch it. Cricket, so yeah, they're here playing cricket, but they can also keep everyone calm around them. Forget about the occasion, forget about the stadium.
Most excitingly, thank you. We'll be back with you a little bit later on. To Stuart, to Alison, we shall return. But if you are watching for the first time, if you have a particular affiliation or affinity with the Thunder, you will understand that this is T20 cricket. This is the Charlotte Edwards Cup. And if it is new to you, here's how it works.
Each match is played by 2 teams of 11 players. Some are batters, some are bowlers, and there's 1 wicket-keeper. Both teams have a chance to bat and bowl. Look out for the coin toss. That's how they decide which team bats or bowls first. Each team has 20 overs to score as many runs as possible. The team with the most runs wins the game. 1 over is made up of 6 good deliveries from the bowler. To score runs, batters hit the ball and run between the stumps. If the ball reaches the boundary, it's 4 runs, and if it gets there without bouncing, that's a 6. While the batting team is scoring runs, the bowling team are trying to stop them and get the batters out by taking wickets. A few ways batters can be out are bowled, caught, run out, stumped, and LBW. Watch out for signals from the umpires, 4s, 6s, wickets, and these when a bad delivery has been bowled. Bad deliveries add runs to the batting team's score, and the bowler must bowl an extra ball. If you see the umpire doing this, the next ball is a free hit, and the batter cannot be out, bowled, caught, LBW, or stumped. And those are all the basics you need to know to get behind your team in this year's Vitality Blast competition.
I'm in the stands, I'm here with Lainey, and you're really, really excited for the women to come out, aren't you? Yeah? Oh, you've not gone shy on me, have you? We're having a great chat before. You've been telling me all about you've been doing the All-Stars cricket as well, haven't you? And what do you like most about playing the cricket?
Batting and bowling.
Batting and bowling.
Yeah, and I've heard in a couple of years it's going to be you out on that pitch playing, isn't it? Yeah, you're going to be that good. You're going to be like, who's your favourite player?
Sophie.
Sophie Eccleston. We like Sophie here, don't we? Yeah? And she going to score, what's she going to be your woman of the match? Yeah. And who do you think's going to win?
Sophie.
Oh, Sophie and Thunder are going to win, aren't they? Yeah? So you've been doing the All-Stars, and did you find it really, really fun? Do you think everyone else should have a go?
Yeah.
Yeah? Perfect. Well, if you fancy having a go, we've got the kids programme. So if you want to find out more about the All-Stars and Dynamo's cricket programme, head on over to the Lancashire Cricket Foundation's website. But we've already had the lightning, and now it's time to bring the thunder.
Very nice to be back. My body's feeling it a little bit. We've had 4 weeks off, so yeah, just getting back to like the grind of county cricket again, but no, it's really good to see all the girls and seeing the winter that they've had as well. Hearing about Dubai, gutted I missed that one. But yeah, it's really nice to be back. Looking forward to getting going on Saturday.
Got a really exciting group of cricketers this year who've made a lot of progress over the winter, and I'm quietly confident that we'll have a really good season. And yeah, I'm just really looking forward to some really big performances from the girls.
I think I saw a big difference this time last year from the first professional winter that they had, and they've just added to that and seem to have gone from strength to strength, and they put in some amazing performances in the County Cup that's just come away with a trophy, so it's a great start to the season. They all seem full of confidence, which is a brilliant place to be starting going into the Charlotte Edwards Cup. We've got a big trip down to Hove to sort out first, but no, they're a tough team. They had a real successful team last year. They beat us up here at Sale in the Rachel Hayhoe Flint, so I think first and foremost we want to get one back on them. It'll be a tough game, but we're looking forward to the challenge. Just excited to get going.
Side, and they've been together for a long time, so from that perspective they're a pretty solid unit with bat, with ball and in the field, so they perform really well, and we didn't really hit his straps with the bat. Had a decent power play, but after that we didn't bat the way we wanted to bat, and also probably as a unit didn't bowl the way we wanted to bowl, and his fielding was slightly off. So yeah, I mean, the key to defeats is bouncing back in it as soon as you possibly can, and we talk a lot about taking the learning and moving on, and as long as we take that learning and apply it on Wednesday, then as a coaching team we'll be really happy. Obviously we want to win the game, there's no doubt about that, but for us it's all about the process and the performance and applying the learning that we've taken from the game on Saturday.
As we welcome viewers on Lancs TV with a little bird bobbing its way across the outfield for Thunder against the Vipers in the Charlotte Edwards Cup, the second of a double-header here at Emirates Old Trafford tonight. We've got the floodlights on. It's a really historic evening with the women's team playing after the men's side. That's not happened here before, and hopefully it's set for a really good game. It's the same pitch, Kevin, that was played on a little bit earlier on. It got 400 odd runs in the first match. It looked a pelter.
It looked a steady pitch, didn't it, really? Yeah, I think the women are going to enjoy this this evening. Ball coming on nicely. When the Vipers played at Trent Bridge on Sunday, we saw the ball coming on nicely there, and it just helps them with a lot of their shots. So yeah, potential for some big runs this evening.
Yep, we'll see whether or not that turns out to be the case, and we see plenty of runs scored throughout the course of tonight. But nice that Thunder have got back some familiar faces. They've welcomed back two of their big hitters. They've got Sophie Eccleston and Kate Cross back, who have been out playing in the women's version of the IPL. That will boost their side with Messrs Eccleston and Cross back into the team, two top international bowlers.
Yeah, gosh, I mean, you know, was it 3 losses and 1 victory for the Diamonds at this, for Thunder this year. They're a better side than that. And it's always disappointing, but I mean, this will give them a real lift. To have those two players back this evening, that will give them a real lift, and I think it makes the Vipers' chances here this evening just that little less.
With regards to the Thunder side, we'll run through that for you in full in the next few moments. In fact, I can run through it right now. I can run through that Thunder team. They've gone with Emma Lamb and Georgie Boyce, Danielle Collins and Sophie Eccleston, Ellie Threlkeld, wicket-keeper and captain, Kate Cross back in the team, Laura Marshall, Laura Jackson, Phoebe Graham, Hannah Jones, and Alex Hartley, who was with us a little bit earlier on for the men's match. We'll take a little look at the Vipers side in the next few moments as well. We're waiting for the arrival of the umpires, who are not too far away. And we might have a little guard of honour as well for the players as they wander out to the middle. Kev, you got that Vipers team?
Yes, I have. Yeah, there's just one change from the side that beat Lightning on Sunday, and Lauren Bell, the tall seamer, she's injured, so she misses out this evening. And Charlie Dean, the England off-spinner batter, she's back in the side after a back spasm, so that's good news. The Vipers will line up like this: Georgia Adams, the captain; Danny Wyatt, the England batter; Maya Boucher; Charlie Dean; Georgia Elwis, who's been on the England A trip during the winter. She's played in the past for England. You've got Ella McGacken, young teenage batter; Paige Schofield; Freya Kemp, the 17-year-old all-rounder. Look out for her. She's really, really fun to watch, that's for sure. Good player, 17, my word. You've got Tara Norris, the left-arm seamer as well. Anya Shrubsole, who I mentioned earlier, and Carla Rudd, the wicket-keeper.
OK, we're just 4 minutes away from the start.
Welcome to Emirates Old Trafford, the iconic home of Lancashire cricket. We hope you enjoy your visit and today's match. On behalf of Emirates and Lancashire Cricket, we would like to thank you for your support of the Red Rose and wish you all the best across the season. Get ready, as it's now time to announce the teams. So strap yourself in for the ride and enjoy.
So here is the Thunder team representing the Northwest here this evening, and it's number 6, Emma Lamb. Number 8, Georgie Boyce. 30 is Danny Collins. Number 19, Sophie Eccleston. Number 21, the captain, Ellie Threlkeld. Number 16 is Kate Cross. Number 12, Laura Marshall. 22 is Laura Jackson. Number 17, Phoebe Graham. 7 is Hannah Jones. And number 65, Alex Hartley. Please welcome onto the field our standing umpires, Tim Robinson and Joanne Ibbotson. Led by the captain, Georgia Adams, please welcome the Southern Vipers. And opening the batting for the Thunder, please welcome to the field number 8, Georgie Boyce, and number 6, Emma Lamb.
Probably been that one aspect that they've struggled on, really. They've got a lot of bowling options, the Thunder. It's whether or not they've got enough batters, enough runs in their team to get enough runs on the board. Just a little reminder for you, if you're listening to us on BBC Radio Lancashire, to continue with the cricket, you need to be on digital DAB for that. And it's on the BBC Sport website and app. We're live on Lancs TV as well throughout the course of the next evening. But if you want live cricket on the radio, it's on DAB or it's on the BBC Sport website and app. Right, here we go. First ball of the game. Over to Kevin.
And it's going to be Freya Kemp, the 17-year-old left-arm seamer from the pavilion end here at Emirates Old Trafford. And penultimate game for both these sides in this year's Charlotte Edwards Trophy. I mentioned earlier that these two, Lamb and Boyce, have given the Thunder a good start in a couple of the games. 95 they put on for the first wicket in their win over the Northern Diamonds, as that's a length ball and that's played out on the offside by Georgie Boyce, and that's fielded by Moya Boucher, and there is no run. Alison Byrne, former Lancashire women's player, alongside me. Hello again.
Hello, young man. How are we?
I'm very well. Yes, we worked together at Sale, didn't we, last year when the Thunder played the Vipers there?
I know. Coincidence.
Yes, it was great fun. It was a memorable day, not just for working alongside you, Alison, of course, which was very memorable indeed. Here's Kemp, left arm over, and it's driven, and it's a thick outside edge down towards third man, fielded by Tara Norris, and that is the first runs on the board for the Thunder. But it was memorable because you'll remember the Test match here was called off, wasn't it? The Indian Test, wasn't it?
Correct.
And apparently, and you'll know more about that than me, but the line down to Sale is only 2 stops or something, isn't it?
2 stops indeed. 5-minute jaunt.
And a few of the crowd who were dressed up turned up at Sale, didn't they? And it was very funny.
Good fun.
Right, here's Kemp again, and bowls, and Lamb drives out to point, and that's fielded by Danny White, and there is no run. So what do we reckon here then, Alison? Because the Thunder will want to finish the group, you know, in a positive way here, won't they?
Absolutely, because the season doesn't end here. There's a lot to play for. The 50-over competition's coming up. They'll want to get their batters in good form. They want to keep their bowlers bowling well.
Yeah, that follows very soon after the final. That's driven in the air. One bounce up to mid-on, but there's no run there. Score remains on 1 without loss. We've had 4 balls of the Thunder innings so far, who won the toss and elected to bat first. So Sophie Eccleston and Kate Cross back after playing in India.
Great boost.
Yeah, that
great
is.
boost.
I was going to say that's going to be interesting to see how they perform here this evening. This is the same wicket that was played on earlier by the men. That's driven up to mid-on. They're going to take a quick single. Throw comes in and it misses. And that is a single there to Emma Lamb, who's the sister of Danny Lamb, the Lancashire all-rounder. I don't think he played this afternoon, Danny Lamb. He did play, apparently. Yeah, that's how much notice I took of that game this afternoon.
Flip a coin, Kevin. Flip a
Fletch,
coin.
the Derbyshire commentator, is there. I could tell you that your side lost, Fletch. I know that much. Here comes Kemp and bowls, and that's pulled away on the 45 on the leg side. Can't find the gap. That's fielded by Ella McGacken, and that's the end of Freya Kemp's first over, and the Thunder are 2 without loss.
I think Georgie Boyce will feel she missed out there.
Yeah, you always hope, don't you, when you pull that ball away on the leg side, that you're missing the fielder if it's up on the 45. If it goes straight to them, you're a bit unlucky as a fielder. That's exactly what you want. First over gone, and the second over is going to be bowled by a certain former England bowler, Anya Shrubsole. 30 years old now, announced her retirement for an international competition back in April. Over 170 internationals she played in, and you will know better than anybody, Alison. Of course, she was a player of the World Cup final back in 2017.
And I was there. What
was
a
you
game.
there?
Yeah, we were watching it. We were surrounded by India fans, quietly gloating towards the end of the Indian innings, and then Anya did what Anya does best.
So she's right arm over with a medium pace. She's bowling to Emma Lamb. Emma Lamb gets wrapped on the pad trying to work it on the leg side, and there is no run yet. 6 for 46 that day.
Tidy start. Yeah, they got their boundary fielders both on the leg there for that in swing.
Yeah, down at fine leg and down at deep square leg. Interesting, isn't it? There's a big gap there here at the moment at Old Trafford, where a stand has been pulled down. Ready for some redevelopment and some extra seats, I've no doubt. Here's Shrubsole Bowles, and just nips back at Lamb there. She played it well. Plays it out to mid-wicket, and quickly in is Charlie Dean.
And luckily for the Thunder, she's there straight away.
And I mentioned that one partnership against Thunder, but they also put on 130 for the first wicket against the Lightning. But Thunder lost that one. So they do need other players to back them up. These two out there at the moment. Here's Shrubsole Bowles, and again that just nips back a fraction, and it's a length ball to Lamb, who can do no more than stroke it to Maya Boucher at extra cover.
Good to see her moving her feet though. You don't. Well, the last thing you want when the ball's moving is to be stuck on your crease.
She was part of the England A squad out in Australia during the winter. Has played international cricket. 1 T20 and 3 one-day internationals. But yet to score a run. I think I'm right in saying at international level. Here's Shrubsole and Bowles. Oh, she's cutting and missing through to keeper Carla Rudd. Just a hint of seam movement, isn't it, back into the right hand?
It definitely is. And I think Emma Lamb's little eyes lit up there because it's the first ball that has been hittable. And I think she's just misjudged the line as well.
Well, we've had 10 balls and only 2 runs scored, so it's a slowish start, although we're very early on, of course, in this 20 overs a side fixture. But you like to see the batters get at least 2 or 3 out of the middle early on. As Shrubsole comes in again, runs away from us and Bowles. Lamb hits that out in the covers. They're going to take a quick single, thrown by McGacken at the keeper's end. Rudd doesn't pick it up cleanly, but 2 Vipers fielders, including Paige Schofield, are backing up.
I think this does follow the pattern of how these two have batted though. They've had to be patient. I think, you know, they know they're the 2 people who are going to score runs for their team, and they've got to be cautious. They can't afford to lose their wickets.
And even with, you know, Eccleston and Crossback, I mean, does you think that helps a little bit in their mindset?
Certainly in terms of the batting. Well, we both watched Kate Cross get a very nice 50 this time last year when we played down at Sale, so we know she can hit it.
Shrubsole to Boyce now, and Boyce drives, doesn't time that, and that goes up to mid-off, and there is no run. So a slow start here from Thunder. We've had 2 overs, and they are just 3 without loss, just 1 run off that accurate Anya Shrubsole over. You're right, but I suppose they might feel under pressure, because as we go into this tournament, and they're both the chief scorers, you're right, they walk out there, whereas in the power play you want to be hitting it, don't you? You want to play freely, calculated risks, but play freely.
But to be fair to both batters here, even if they were in that free scoring mode, if you like, the bowling's been good. I don't think you should take credit away from the bowling side.
True, no, it has been accurate already. Freya Kemp, whose first over went for 2, is making away for another left-arm seamer. That's Tara Norris, who played a bit of international cricket for the USA during the winter. World Cup, America's qualifiers in Mexico, would you believe? That's a place, isn't it? That's a hub of cricket. There's Tara Norris Bowles, and that's turned away square on the leg side by Lamb. She'll pick up a single, and the total moves on to 4 without loss. Lamb has 3 from 9. Boyce has 1 from 4.
Yeah, a little fact for you. One of my friends who I met at Cricket Week, which we'll talk about another time if you like. She's the captain of the Argentina team that played in that same tournament.
Oh, right.
Veronica Vasquez.
Vasquez. Yeah. Well, I mean, what a nice, you know, place to be playing a few games. Ideal. Norris from the pavilion end comes in and bowls, and that's on the line of leg stump, and it hits Boyce on the pads, and that goes out square on the leg side, fielded by McGacken. That's signalled leg byes by the umpire, and it's 5 without loss here. Just to emphasise, Lancashire made over 200, didn't they, here in the afternoon game, and Derbyshire, I think, got about 180 or something like that. About 180-ish, was it, Derbyshire? Lancashire got 200, didn't they? Oh, they got 200 as well, they did, yeah. So there are runs in this pitch. At the moment, Thunder are just stuttering here a little bit, just finding some momentum. That's a slow ball down the leg side, and that's a wide. And the Thunder move on to 6 without loss. So are you still playing? Cause I know I asked you this last year, but you played for Lancashire sort of around.
Early to mid 90s.
Right.
Before that, I had a couple of seasons with the West Midlands as well. Yeah. Well, you wouldn't even know what that is, would you?
There's no more, is it?
No.
Here's Norris and bowls to Lamb. Lamb works that to mid-wicket strongly, but straight to the fielder. No run there. I mean, you must be amazed. Even, I mean, obviously we talk about the regional, all that stuff a lot, but of course early season there was the women's T20 competition. You know, even at county level now, there's lots of opportunities. Do you look at that now and say, wow, if only we'd had some of that?
I'm not going to lie, I shed a little tear before when I was on the pitch.
Did you?
Yeah.
You never got to play here?
As I said in the interview,
Now that's hoiked away through mid-wicket.
Good shot.
That's an aggressive shot there from Emma Lamb, but it goes out to Paige Schofield at deep mid-wicket. She moves on to 4 from 11 Lamb, 1 from 5 boys.
Yeah, I don't think she quite middled that, but yeah, I mean, the interviewer asked me, you know, about that, and I've been twice I've stood on the pitch now.
Yeah.
Once was to get my county cap, 25 years after I'd finished playing for my county.
Really?
Yeah,
oh.
and then I looked around at the Vipers to my left, Thunder Girls to my right, and I was so happy.
It's pulled away on the leg side in the air by Boyce. 1 bounce down to Paige Schofield. It's 8 without loss. What would have been the best ground you would have played on?
Myself, we used to play our county championship matches at a tournament in Cambridge, and we played on some of the really lovely.
Fenners?
Played at Fenners.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, lovely.
Yeah,
nice
some of the grounds there.
Some of the college grounds are beautiful, aren't they?
Beautiful grounds, yeah.
Good wickets from what I remember.
Yeah, good batting wickets.
Last ball of the 3rd over coming up, and the Thunder, slow start for them, 8 without loss, having won the toss and elected to bat first. Here's Norris over the wicket from the pavilion end and bowls. She's given herself a little bit of room, and Norris just tucks her up, and Lamb works her on the leg side for a single. And it's 9 without loss after 3 overs. I'm just trying to work out the crowd, because it was a good crowd this afternoon. Lots of noise, I have to say. I mean, I walked into the ground, I could hear it, and it sounded a great atmosphere. But I'll tell you what, there's a few people stayed here, isn't there?
There is. It's deceptive, isn't it, when you're in a ground of this size? As to how there's definitely a lot more people than were at the Sale game last year, and that's with the spectators who come from the men's game. So it's a good sign.
It is, yeah. I mean, up towards the pavilion that we can see. I mean, there's a few people dotted around in the seats at the lower level. A few people right at the top on the what's that, third floor. That used to be the committee room up there, top right. I don't know if that still is. That might have changed. Things have changed a lot since I was playing here. Now here's Kemp, who's changed ends, and she's missed that one. Has Lamb trying to hook that away on the leg side.
She's played and
sweep
missed
shot.
That shot quite a few times this season. I'm surprised she's pulled it out so early.
Yeah, she's 5 of 13 here.
Early days.
Yeah, we're into the 4th over, but as you say, Alison, these a lot resting on Lamb and Boyce's shoulders here from a Thunder point of view. Freya Kemp then over the wicket, left arm and bowls. It's another leg ball, and that's flat batted to mid-on, and that is Georgia Adams who takes the catch. Just falling forward again. That hasn't come out of the middle of the bat, and Lamb goes for 5. And the Thunder have lost their first wicket with a score of 9. Not timed at all. What's that?
Well, I'm not happy, put it that way, Kevin.
Well, it's a big wicket for the Vipers, and it's a setback for Thunder. Absolutely no doubt about that. And,
who's in at 3? Is this Danielle Collins coming out?
She batted 3 in the last game when they lost to the Diamonds.
Actually, last time she batted, so hopefully she'll be able to carry that form through. I think she was a bit unlucky the way she got out.
And that's another wicket to the young 17-year-old Freya Kemp, who's really impressing for the Vipers this year, mainly with her left-arm seamers. She does give it a bit of a whack when she comes in the middle order as well, and you would never know she's just 17 years of age. Now, Kate Cross is coming in at number 3.
Okay.
30-year-old who has recently come back from India, as Scott Reed was mentioning, in the women's version of the IPL, which I wasn't aware of.
Well, let's hope history repeats itself here from the Thunder's point of view, Kevin.
Well, when she scored those runs at Sale,
She looked good, didn't she?
She did. She's facing Kemp then. Kemp comes in, that's a nice drive, and that's somewhere near the middle, and that goes straight to Boucher at extra cover. Probably the most confident shot we've seen so far in the Thunder innings.
Clean hit.
So we're in the 4th over here. Just to repeat, Thunder winning the toss and electing to bat first. I have to say, the wicket does look a good one. And they can be very flat here. And comes on nicely as Kemp again. Bowls to Cross. Cross gets a length ball. She just works that into the covers. And that is fielded by Georgia Elwes.
Sorry, Kevin, for talking over you, but
That's
this is where you'd hope experience would come to the fore.
Definitely, yeah. 5 test matches, 46 one-day internationals and 13 T20 internationals for Kate Cross.
Amazing.
That's an impressive record. Here's Kemp to Cross. Cross drives in the air over the top of Boucher. That's a lovely shot. That's 4 runs. Just leant into that shot, knew exactly what she was doing, knew she could hit it in the air, and that's well timed. Boucher had absolutely no chance there.
I think she's had a bit of batting practice out in India, maybe.
Yes, I think. Well, she's obviously played a lot of cricket, hasn't she? Obviously during the winter as well, with England. Does that podcast as well with Alex Hartley, don't they?
Hilarious. I love them.
Is it? Do you listen to that quite a bit?
Occasionally, yeah.
I've listened to the odd one, I must admit. 13 for 1 then, last ball of the 4th over coming up. Here's Kemp and bowls to Cross, and Cross drives, gets a bottom edge, bounces into the deck, over the top of keeper Rudd, up towards the pavilion. They'll run 1, think about 2, they'll take 2. It's a comfortable second run, and a little bit of injection of some positivity there for the Thunder at the end of the 4th over there, but they are 15 for 1. Kate Cross has got 6 off just 4 deliveries. And Georgie Boyce, who's maybe just sort of having a look at things and trying to work things out. She's 2 off 6. What sort of total here, do you think? I mean, it's difficult, isn't it? Because you see a men's game and they get 200. It's a different
Really
game, of course it is. But
you know, men hit it further, they bowl it faster, so therefore the ball will come off the bat quicker. It's hard to equate, isn't it?
it is, yeah. When these two met at the Aegeus Bowl, Thunder didn't really put the Vipers under too much pressure. 102 for 7 they made, and the Vipers romped home for the loss of 2 wickets with 39 balls to spare. Here's Tara Norris, the other left-armer in the attack, and that's driven nicely by Georgie Boyce, but it's only as far as Shrubsole at mid-off, and there is no run. Yeah, I'm just looking at some of the other totals. So 102 for 7 batting first there, 148 for 7 at Sale, which wasn't a bad total. In fact, they beat the Diamonds there. The Diamonds bowled out for 92. Thunder made 152 for 5 when they lost to Lightning at Leicester, and they were 99 all out, chasing 124 of Northern Diamonds in their last game. That's outside the leg stump and not called a wide this time. That must have been close. So they're going to need 140, 150 here.
What's the common denominator there?
What, being bowled out?
Well, common denominator is they got scores over 120 when Boyce and Lamb stayed in for a good 10 overs each.
That's very true.
And then they didn't when they didn't.
Yeah, that's very true. So there's a lot resting on Georgie Boyce here, Alison.
Well, yeah. And, well, they didn't have Crossy either then, so.
True. She's facing Norris, who bowls. It's full, it's driven, and it's one bounce up to Anna Shrubsole, who does well. She can't find the gap. She just looks at the bottom of her bat, does Georgie Boyce. She's just struggling to locate the middle. So I think Vipers will be happy with the Thunder, and of course, you know, with each ball that goes and each over that goes, and you feel that you're a little bit under par, that pressure builds up. This is where the skill of the batter comes in. There's Norris, who runs in from just inside the circle and bowls to Boyce once more, and it's a length ball, and Boyce hits it hard back to Norris, who threatens the throw. Doesn't. This is, you're right what you said earlier, Az. It's good bowling. It's tight. It's length bowling.
Line of length.
Yep.
It's a you miss, we hit.
That's right. Sometimes you don't need any more.
People forget that sometimes.
What would you do in this situation if you were out there now with all your experience? What would you be thinking about?
It's a hard one, isn't it? You'd be torn. Actually, it's a very tricky position to be in. You'd be looking at the scoreboard, thinking we need to push on. Half of you'll be saying push on, push on.
Drives, using the feet
because I can't afford to get out.
That's right. Up to mid-on, it was half stopped by Norris, but you saw the intent there, didn't you, from Boyce, who clearly is just looking at the board a few times and thinking we need to be a few more runs on here. But it was only a single, and she moves on to 3 off 11. 16 for 1 here, Thunder, with 1 ball left of the 5th over. I think Scott Reed is coming to me at the end of the 6th over. That's right. Yeah. It was 5. He's now extended it to 6. He's like that, Scott. Here comes Norris, and that's just a length ball which Kate Cross just plays quietly back to the bowler. That's 5 overs gone, and the Thunder here are at 16 for 1. Just that 1 run scored off Norris's over. And it's going to be Alison Byrne who's taking a break, former Lancashire women's player. The bowlers used so far for the Vipers, Freya Kemp 2 overs 1 for 8. Anya Shrubsole 1 over for just 1 run, and Tara Norris 2 overs none for 7. Stuart Law, former Australian batter, formerly of Lancashire. There's Essex as well in there.
There
somewhere.
was Essex, yes,
and former Middlesex coach as well, and West Indies coach.
Don't forget, I had half a season at Derbyshire as well.
And Derbyshire, yeah. Sorry, I missed out. And Fletch in the room as well. How could I miss Derbyshire out?
We've been catching up on great old times.
Have you? Was there some there?
Yeah, we had some.
Good. Here comes Shrubsole and bowls with the keeper standing up, and that's pulled away on the leg side by Georgie Boyce, but she only finds the fielder, and there is no run.
How are you, mate? You're right.
Oh, good. I told you I talk an absolute no rubbish when I got the bike.
Yeah, you do it well too.
Oh, that's right. Some would say different. We're in the 6th over here, 16 for 1 the Thunder, having won the toss and elected to bat first. What do you make of this start so far?
Yeah, it's been a bit laboured, but you know the bowling's been outstanding. Anya Shrubsole, she's
on it. That's pulled away, and it's just wide of the mid-wicket fielder, but there is a sweeper out deep. That's Paige Schofield, and again, it's just a single. They can't find the boundaries. Only 1 boundary so far in the Thunder innings. They move on to 17 for 1 in the 6th.
It's what you want. You want your experienced players to bowl to their fields, and that's what Shrubsole's doing. Everyone else has followed suit. You know, she bowled the 2nd over, but set a good tone. And everyone else is following. The fielding's been outstanding. They've been swooping in on the singles early in the ring. And as you say, finding boundaries is very difficult to come by.
Shrubsole to Kate Cross, slightly slower ball. Cross just guides that into the covers. They'll take a quick single, and Ella McGacken just makes a little bit of a meal of that in the covers, and they'll actually pick up 2. I think McGacken may just have taken her eye off it at the last minute.
Tough fielding it there, though, on the wicket ends. Ball hits those footholes from the used pitches, and it can just bobble a bit.
Yeah. Which
makes it difficult, but still at this level they've got to be stopped.
That's true. 19 for 1 then, and Cross moves on to 8, coming in at number 3. That's off just 6 deliveries. Here's Shrubsole again, and Cross works that away on the leg side, out towards deep square leg with Schofield Fields in front of the building site there. And I don't know what sort of stand is going up there, but obviously a few more seats. And somebody, I think it was you who told me that the was it the hotel's going to be extended?
It's going to extend. I don't know the exact. Sat down with the architect and gone through it.
Have you not?
No, not yet. No, but I will. I'll make a note and get that done. But the stands are going to join. It's going to look magnificent.
I'm sure it will. As Shrubsole bowls, it's on the line of leg stump, and that's just worked around behind square on the leg side. They might run 2 here. They don't actually. That's Freya Kemp out there in the deep. Good throw from her on the full, to Carla Rudd. And the Thunder move on to 21 for 1. We've got 1 ball left of the 6th. As Boyce has 5 and Cross has 9. The 1 batter out so far, Emma Lamb, caught by Georgia Adams at mid-on off the bowling of Kemp for 5. The score then 9 for 1. That was in the 4th over. Here's Shrubsole with her last ball of her 2nd over. Bowls, and that's hoiked away on the leg side, just short of Georgia Adams, who did well. Got a body in behind it and the hands behind it, and no run taken there. So 6 overs gone, 21 for 1. Another comment from Stuart Law, and then it'll be Scott Reed.
Good courage there from Georgia Adams. Coming forward is always difficult to take those catches, particularly when they're low down. If you're looking to dive forward, you always have it in the back of your mind. It could bounce up and hit you in the teeth, and that's not a pleasant experience. But the Thunder here, their power play done, 21 for 1. Probably not exactly where they want to be. But you got to say the Vipers have been on it from ball 1. They've been great.
Well, they've had a good season up there so far. Top of the group, 4 wins from 4. And I guess with Thunder being here at Emirates Old Trafford under a little bit of pressure, because obviously they need a result, and the home side, they're playing under the lights, the headline fixture. 21 for 1 after 6. Boys on 5, Cross on 9.
Well, the good news is they're only 1 down. If they were 2 or 3 down, it's a very difficult ladder to climb, but they're only 1 down.
Here comes Dean in and bowls to Boyce. That's just nudged away out towards the onside and picked up by Shrubsole, and there is no run. How much of a balancing act is it to a power play? Because obviously you want runs. You want to take advantage of the restrictions, but you also kind of don't want to be losing too many wickets, do you? Here's Dean into Boyce. It'll skip down the pitch and sent on the bounce back to the boiler, and there is no run. No,
you do, and you always sit down with your team and your coaching staff and work out what everyone's comfortable chasing, and found that what does work well is if you set a target but then put a number underneath it. Don't label it or don't
Dean in and balls to Boyce, who comes down the pitch and hits it firmly to mid-off. And he's through for one. There is a pick-up and a direct throw. Felt like from here that Boyce was safely through. Score moves on to 22 for one.
Yeah, you don't want to restrict yourself mentally by putting a target on the number of overs you've got to face and how many runs you want to score. But normally it's around 40, 45 if you can get to that. Probably a little lower in this game.
Yeah.
But you don't want to be more than 3 wickets down. 3 wickets in 6 overs, very difficult to hang on to it. Whether you're chasing or even setting a target, very difficult to manipulate. The run rate and the wicket rate losing. You don't want to lose too many more than that.
Charlie Dean in and bowling for the Vipers. Cross comes down the pitch and hits it away into the onside. Out towards mid-wicket. Will get through actually for a single. He's beating Shribsall inside the circle on the leg side. So Cross moves on to 10 from 9. Good start for her. 23 for 1 with 2 balls left of the 7th.
Yeah, and what's impressive is both Sophie Eccleston and Crossie, they've come back from India and they're straight back into the starting lineup tonight. And that's great for them, obviously, paying their teammates back.
Boyce on strike. Oh, coming down the pitch, almost yorking herself, really. Ball just appears down towards short third. It's gone through for a bye. No bat on that, but could easily have squirted underneath the bottom edge onto the stumps. Bit of good fortune, perhaps, going the way of Georgie Boyce.
Yeah, they look well drilled, the Vipers, don't they, Charlotte?
Here's Charlie Dean to complete a first over and Cross off the back foot. Plays a nice shot, just pushed back along the ground. Dean trying to stop it away to right-hand side off her own bowling. There's no run. Cross gets a single and she's got the strike for the next over as well. She's on 11, Boyce on 6. And the Thunder are 25 for 1 after the first 7 overs.
Yeah, Charlotte Edwards obviously has the girls very, very well in shape and well drilled. You can see Danny Wyatt running from deep mid-wicket to deep mid-wicket. That's the high traffic zone, so you want your best fielders in those areas. They look really sharp. They look switched on, top of the table, playing with a lot of confidence. It really shows when they're out in the field. They've been outstanding so far in the field. Brilliant.
They are that kind of a headline act, aren't they, really domestically, the Vipers. I was speaking in the build-up to the game, actually to Kate and to Georgie Boyce, who's Thunder's vice-captain, Ellie Threlko, the skipper, and kind of one of the Western Storm, Southern Vipers, kind of benchmark teams for a lot of sides. Kind of having to reach those standards if you're going to compete to try and win trophies. Elwes into the attack from the Statham end. Cross swings through this and gets it up and over point. Out towards the boundary for a single. Cross moves on to 12, 26 for 1.
Yeah, and the Thunder being a young team, they can learn a lot by watching the best team in the competition, or in this group anyway. Whether they're fielding and watching the Vipers bat, and vice versa, sitting on the balcony now, watching how they move around, you can learn a lot.
Elwes over the wicket, ball just back of the length, and Boyce waits for it. Goes quite deep into the crease, pulls the ball away towards deep backward square leg, and gets through for a single. Moves on to 7, 27 for 1. I guess that's replicated, Stuart, throughout cricket, isn't it? You're going to have best side, the better teams in whatever particular format it is, and everyone's kind of not playing catch-up, but trying to get to those levels, I suppose. Elwes in again, Cross this time swings away through the onside, plenty of height, it just lands outside the 30-metre circle, and Cross gets 1, moves to 13. Thunder are 28 for 1.
Yeah, you can, and there were times when you're on the field and it might be Sachin Tendulkar who's putting on a masterclass, and you desperately want him out, but you also want to sit there and watch him bat as well, standing at mid-off and watching him go about his business. You learn a lot from, that's how we used to learn a lot of our cricket.
Georgia Elwes in and bowls, and it's a full-length ball, and Boyce hits it firmly down the ground. It is picked up at on the long-on boundary. And they get through for a single. Boyce moves on to 8, 29 for 1. 2 balls left of the 8th over, live from Emirates, Old Trafford. The second game of today's double-header. And we're in the Charlotte Edwards Cup. Watching Elwes bowl, a delivery that's wide of off stump, and I think Cross for a second thought about trying to hit it, trying to cut it, but left it in the end.
She's hoping for a bit of help from Tim Robinson. He wasn't obliging.
Yeah, didn't get much from the umpire.
Yeah.
Cross didn't go for the shot. Taps the bat, keeper crouching down behind, Elwes in and balls once more, flicked away off the pads. Cross jogs through for a single and moves up to 14. That's the end of the 8th over. 30 for 1. Cross 14 from 14. Boyce 8 from 20. Thunder batting first under the lights at Emirates Old Trafford. Got 30 runs on the board for the loss of just the 1 wicket. You mentioned Kate Cross and Sophie Eccleston, both back from India. It's very much the modern way for cricket, isn't it? You're off a plane and straight into a game. You're just going to get on with it, I guess.
Yeah, have your suitcase packed, ready to go the next trip, and make sure that there's petrol in the car for when you get home, so you can get to your next venue. And it's the way the modern game's gone, and the way that women's sport has progressed. They're catching up to the boys now.
Charlie Dean bowling. Oh, it's a good shot from Cross. Little step down the pitch, hammered over the bowler. That's 4 runs. That's a good-looking shot from Kate Cross for 4.
It was a great shot. Used the feet coming down the pitch to the off-spinner and hit it straight back over the top. No fielders behind the bowler, that's for sure, and a couple of bounces over the rope. Beautiful shot.
Interesting move this, isn't it? Cross batting this high up. But she's an experienced player. And she can hit the ball, as we've seen just there. This one's just nudged away towards mid-wicket, but for no run.
She's also been playing a lot of cricket, practicing a lot of cricket out in India, so she's probably in better nick than the most out here this evening.
Dean for the Vipers, in and balls again. Cross comes down, again goes big, high through the onside. It might be one shot too many. Maybe it'll land safe. No, it's a great catch. Terrific catch from Danny Wyatt coming up from deep mid-wicket. Cross went again for that big hit. She went out towards the leg side, but Dean gets the wicket, the second to fall for the Thunder, and Kate Cross out for 18. 34 for 2 in the 9th.
Yeah, it's a shame. Kate Cross coming down to try and repeat the dose straight back over the bowler's head, but kept it back nicely, held it back, slower ball into the pitch. Only presents Danny Wyatt with an opportunity, and she ran 30-40 yards and took a great catch moving forward. So brilliant outfielding from Danny Wyatt. That's what she's renowned for. She could make most teams just on her fielding alone. So Vipers, as I said before, they're very, very well drilled. They're looking sharp tonight.
Did well to get to it, to make up the distance. I always think, Stuart, when you get there and you take the catch and then you hit the ground, there's a danger it might bounce out, but it's kind of it's almost a double catch, isn't it? To get to it and then to keep it.
Keep it, and then you find the good fielders will find a way on how not to engage their elbows onto the turf. So as we were watching Danny take that catch, she caught it and she curled her arms back in towards the body and rolled onto her shoulder, so the elbows are out of it. If elbows hit the ground, more than likely it does jolt out, but brilliant catch.
So 34 for 2, halfway into the 9th. Sophie Eccleston, next batter out to join Georgie Boyce. And just like Kate Cross, fresh from a couple of weeks in India. And Charlie Dean fizzes one in pretty quickly to Sophie Eccleston. That's nudged away back along the ground, and there is no run. So Emma Lamb for 5 and Kate Cross for 18, the 2 wickets to fall so far, with a couple of deliveries to go of the 9th. There's Dean for the Vipers, in and bowls. Eccleston leans into it, works the ball away through square leg, jogs through for a single, and she's off the mark with that. And the score moves on to 35 for 2. And delivery left of the 9th over. The breakthrough of Emma Lamb so early in the match was significant wicket for the Vipers. You could see that with the way they celebrated the wicket of Lamb. Georgie Boyce has been in good touch though this season, and this is nudged out into the onside, but for no run from the Thunder vice skipper. And that completes the 9th over. 35 for 2. Boyce on 8 and Eccleston on 1. And a good over that for Charlie Dean. 5 off it, but the wicket of Kate Cross, that's an important one from her point of view.
Yeah, big wicket. Kate Cross, hit the boundary. The previous delivery tried to repeat the dose, and good bit of bowling from Charlie Dean. As I said before, she held it back, tried to slow it up to get the ball bouncing a bit shorter and forcing the shot to be played to the biggest boundary. That's a massive boundary out to the leg side towards the point, and you need to hit it with absolutely everything you got and get it clean to get anywhere near that rope. It's miles away.
She probably felt quite good when it came off the bat. Felt like she hit it quite well, but
it sounded good, didn't it?
It did.
Went through the microphone and
just didn't have enough on it. And Cross in the end out for 18. Eccleston on strike. First game for the Thunder in the Charlotte Edwards Cup this year for Sophie Eccleston. She'll want some runs on the ball to bowl that a little bit later on. One off, if not the best spinner in the women's game, Sophie Eccleston. Here's Kemp in and bowling. That's turned away off the pads into the onside. Picked up at mid-wicket by Danny Wyatt. And again, there is no runs. We're into the 10th over of the Thunder innings. 35 for 2. Floodlights are on. The skies are pretty light, actually. A couple of filthy clouds drifted over the ground before the play started, but thankfully they've disappeared. Kemp again.
Shot.
Eccleston takes it on, and the shot's for 6 behind square on the leg side.
Great shot, pick up just off the hip, back of a length into Sophie Eccleston's hip, and she swivels on the pull shot and dispatches it over the rope. One bounce into the building site. Old mate's in there with his hard hat. He's found that one straight away too.
He's had a busy night there, hasn't he?
Yeah. He's getting overtime surely from the boss.
I hope so, yeah. Your job tonight, mate, is to try and find the ball every time it gets battered into the building site. Quite a lot of ground to cover as well.
Yeah, he's had to jump fences there, isn't he?
41 for 2. It's a good hit from Sophie Eccleston, who's up to 7. This one's just pushed out into the onside. That's clever batting, isn't it, from Eccleston? Just takes a single, nudged away towards mid-wicket. Danny Wyatt does catch up and field it, but not before Eccleston moves on to 8 and score to 42 for 2.
Yeah, the old adage, hit a boundary, get a single. Keep moving the scoreboard along. Never, you don't want too many dots in this format. You want to try and find a gap every time. And I think what Boyce has been doing, she's just looking for one gap. She's got to open up both sides of the field here.
Kemp in, bowls again. Boyce goes right back and drags the ball kind of from about hip height, just behind square leg. Wants to come back for a second, but Eccleston says there isn't one there. So just the one for Boyce. She's on to 9, 43 for 2.
Yeah, just against Charlie Dean. Not getting a lot of turn, but always looking for that gap down a mid-on or mid-wicket, particularly the ball outside off stump. And there's only one fielder behind point here. Sit back and cut the ears off it and try and get it past that point, roll it out to the boundary. Just don't focus on one area. You know, make sure you're clear in your head that if it's outside off stump, I'm going to try and hit it on this side. I know we've got to hit with the spin and all the rest of it, but the great Indian batsman told me that's a load of rubbish. B.J. Slaxman.
I said just how great an Indian batsman was this.
Well, he was one of the greats.
Kemp in, just bowls a ball that's back of a length, and that's muscled away by Eccleston through mid-wicket. And moves on to 9, 44 for 2 with one ball left of the 10th. So basically, if you can kind of broaden your shot range up, the better. The more options you give yourself, the better.
Yeah, and if it's turning square, and then it sort of limits your ability to hit on one side. So that fair enough, but it's not really spinning. It's a beautiful pitch. Just hit the ball where you can.
Kemp back in and bowls. Oh, and bowls! Georgie Boyce.
Well ball.
I think they're just a pace off them, Kemp, and deceived the batter. Big swing and a miss. Boyce goes. Thunder are 44 for 2.
Yeah, great skills there from Kemp. Out the back of the hand, slower ball. It's deceived Boyce. Ball ends up and crashes into off stump. So beautifully bowled. Thunder now lose their 3rd wicket.
Yeah, halfway stage. 44 for 3. And crucially for the Vipers, the 2 top run scorers of the competition this year are out. Emma Lamb 144 runs, Georgie Boyce 62 runs. Both have got a couple of 50s as well. Both are out, both back in the dressing room. Stuart Law has left us. He'll be back a little bit later on. Alison Byrne, former Lancashire player, alongside me. That's a significant breakthrough, Alison, for the Vipers to have got rid of Boyce and Lamb quite cheaply.
Definitely. Yeah, as I said to Kevin earlier, they're the mainstays of the Thunder's batting unit. But Collins had a nice little knock in her last match, 20 odd, unlucky to get out the way she did, stumped, but debatable. And Eccleston's looking in good nick, so this is a huge opportunity for both of them to make a name with the bat. 10 overs to go. Get a target, make a game of it.
Eccleston can hit the ball.
Oh yeah.
Elvis in. This is just cut away through the offside. There's a sweeper on the cover boundary. Just takes a single this time. Moves on to 10. So 45 for 3. Brings Collins back on strike. That's the key, I guess, isn't it now? Got 7 wickets remaining. It's about trying to see. You might have to just adjust what you think the total's going to be, but to try and get something that's on there that you reckon you can try and defend.
Well, they've got a very good bowling unit, so anything's possible when you've got world-class bowlers in your side.
Elvis from the Anderson end balls. That's hit firmly through the offside by Collins. He picked up inside the circle, not picked up cleanly, but there's always a run there anyway. So the slight fumble from Danny Wyatt wasn't too costly. Collins off the mark with that. 46 for 3. Yeah, a sizable boost for the Thunder. The return of Cross and Eccleston. Perhaps the best in the world when it comes to spinners for Sophie Eccleston, who's on strike now. Just dropped up towards mid-on. Now she'd gone through the first quickly with the intent perhaps of trying to come back for 2, and they thought about it.
Glad they didn't.
Yeah, Schofield running up and getting to the ball pretty quickly towards the edge of the circle, but it's that tactic that the men's side used to great effect a little bit earlier on, just dropping the ball towards the edge of the 30-metre circle. You might be able to turn a 1 into a 2. Elvis to Collins, that's just pulled away through square leg. Doubles the total, she moves on to 2. Score moves on to 48 for 3.
It's a magnificent view actually up here, because you can see the amount of movement there is in between the balls. Or if you're down at ground level, you don't always catch the eye of the fielders. You can see them constantly checking where they needed to be, moving, listening to the captain, watching the signals, backing up. Brilliant. Love it. It's great to see them.
Do have a very terrific view, don't we, from this commentary box, as Eccleston trying to chop the ball away into the offside, picked up inside that 30-metre circle, and there is no run. And we're watching right down the pitch. Great view of the ground in front of us. Looks a picture. Now, having spoken to Kate and to Alex and to Phoebe Graham, how much they're looking forward to tonight.
It's a nice shot.
Yeah, that's dragged away through deep mid-wicket by Sophie Eccleston. And she moves on to 12. 49 for 3. Collins to Eccleston 12. 11 overs gone. And the partnership that needs to be kind of put together a little bit now between these two batters. Just trying to keep the score ticking over.
9 overs of good batting required here for sure.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing what these two can do. If Sophie Eccleston can be out there towards the back end of the innings.
Oh,
a few fireworks.
Yeah, we've seen what she can do. You know, she's tall, she's very strong, long levers, times it well. Would relish the chance to be out there in the last couple of overs to really swing the bat and give it a whirl.
Shrubsole coming back into the attack.
Change of fielder over on the offside there. They've switched one of the fielders over there. I can't quite tell from here who it might be.
Oh yeah, it's deep extra and backward pointer swap positions. A Shrubsole over the wicket balls. Eccleston just goes back, nudges the ball back along the ground, jogs through for a single. Moves up to 13. Got a bit of sunshine coming through, Alison.
Lovely, isn't it?
Very nice.
Very nice.
I was starting to fear the worst a little bit when looking at the forecast earlier on, thinking, oh, it could be in for a bit of a frustrating night, but...
Yeah, I got caught in a wee rainstorm on the way from the Wirral at about 5 o'clock this afternoon, so...
That's badly timed for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Shrubsole in, bowling around the wicket to Collins, swing and a miss. Taken by the keeper, no run.
Yeah, nothing too damaging. I think we're going to be all right.
I think we are. Set, hopefully, for a good evening. Weather-wise and cricket-wise.
You can never tell, though. It is Manchester.
Well, the weather comes from behind our commentary box. We can never really see it coming. It's always raining by the time we realise it's here. Collins on strike.
Shrubsole again.
Here she comes from the stay the men. Right arm around the wicket balls.
Nice shot.
Yeah, punched
Placed.
away.
Beautiful shot.
That's 4 runs.
Lovely. That's my shot of the day.
That's a handsome looking off drive.
Yeah. Placement as well.
Yeah, there wasn't much of a gap. I mean, there's a mid-off and there's a short extra
really
cover.
Wasn't. It was like threading the needle, that wasn't it?
The timing was beautiful. It was underneath mid-off and then just rattled its way towards the rope for 4. So she moves to 6, 54 for 3. Shrubsole in and balls. And
nice use of the wrist there.
It'll flick around the corner.
Yeah.
Towards backward square. 55 for 3. Collins moves on to 7 from 5.
Not bad at all. I think she'd have taken that 10 minutes ago, start with her pads on, waiting to come out.
Yep, be happy with that. She'd up and running. I had a lovely off drive and in the game. Just a little sign of a mini partnership starting to form here. Shrubsole looking to try and end it. And then bowling to Sophie Eccleston's onto the front foot and pushed back down the pitch and gathered by Shrubsole off her own bowling. And there is no run.
That one didn't seem to cut in as much as their earlier deliveries. We will see.
Final ball of a 3rd over. Gone for just the 12 so far. In to complete it. Eccleston goes back, scoops the ball away through mid-wicket. Gets through for a single. Completes the 12th over. So 56 for 3, Eccleston 14, Collins on 7. Alison, a few more thoughts from you about how it's looking, and then Kevin's going to come back in.
Thanks, Scott. Well, it's poised. It's poised. Those of us that are supporting the Thunder will be hoping these two will put on a good show. Viper's got the added inconvenience of having a lefty and a right-hander in at the same time, which is always slightly annoying as a bowler. You have to change your line, change your direction, change your, you go over or around the wicket. All these factors come into play. And here's our Kev.
Hello.
Hello, our Kev.
Am I our Kev now?
Yeah.
Have I? I've only been here a couple of hours, and
Yeah.
I'm our Kev already. Now that's in the air, just short of Kemp on the 45 on the leg side, and Eccleston just helping it away. Got a little bit lucky there, and the Thunder move on to 57 for 3. We are in the 13th over of this 20 overs a side contest. So it's back on strike. Is Daniel Collins, the left-hander, 21 years of age. Played for Lancashire in that early season women's T20 tournament. Following in your footsteps there, playing for Lancashire, Alison?
Oh yeah, but we never did T20.
No.
No.
What were your games in those days?
50.
You're all 50? All
Yeah.
50, nothing else?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's Dean, who switches round the wicket here to the left-hander, who drives that to mid-wicket, and that's fielded by Shrubsole. So Collins has 7 from 6, Eccleston 15 from 14. And Thunder 57 for 3 as Charlie Dean's in a 3rd over here, 1 for 9 around the wicket, flights it, it's full and it's driven back to her, and there's no run. Charlie Dean back in the Vipers side after suffering a back spasm. He's played a lot of cricket, had a long winter away, has gone into the England side towards the back end of last year, and then was away virtually the whole of the winter with the Ashes and then the World Cup as well. And she's wrapped on the pad, and that's LBW. Well, I thought that was quite leg-side-ish.
I did.
She was playing that away square on the leg side, Danielle Collins, but she goes for 7, and the Thunder here are 57 for 4. Interesting to see that on a replay.
She's had a bit of bad luck, I think, with decisions the last couple of innings. We may well be wrong, but let's have a look at the replay if we're going to see it.
Well, I just watched it once, and I say it might have been closer than I thought, actually. We're slightly to the left of the action as we look. Sorry, yeah, slightly to the left. So we are about sort of deep mid-off from the other end.
Never mind.
What do you think of that? You've watched it a couple of times now, haven't you?
Let's have a look. Watch it again.
You got it
Pitch.
again?
I still think it was going down, but never mind. It doesn't matter what I think. She's out. End of.
It's not hitting Midland leg anyway, is it? Let's put it that way. Yeah, Stuart Law's giving it out.
We've been overruled by the Aussie.
Oh, yeah. It must be out.
It's got to be out. Aussie rules, eh?
All right, Ellie Threcold, the captain for the Thunder, makes her way out to the middle, 23 years old.
Now's the chance for a captain's innings.
It certainly is, yeah. Took over the captaincy in the winter from Alex Hartley. She was also part of the England A set-up in the winter, down under. 57 for 4 then. And Charlie Dean took her 2nd wicket there, 2 for 9. She has 2 balls left of her 3rd. And Threcold, the right-hander, a crab-like stance there as that's full quicker, and that's worked to mid-wicket, fielded by Freya Kemp, and there is no run. So a decent crowd, actually. It's always a worry, isn't it, just how many people stay after the action in the afternoon. But I think the Thunder will be happy with this. That's driven again to Kemp at mid-wicket, and that is the end of the over. 13 gone, 7 to do, and Thunder are 57 for 4. So, do you think... I mean, I'm useless at guessing crowds. I guess there's a few below us. We can't see what's right below us. It was certainly noisy during the men's game this afternoon.
Well, the steward, I asked the steward roughly how many had been in for the guys' match, and they reckon about 6,000.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. It's still hard to tell. I don't think that fact helped us very much at all, did it, Kevin? Sorry about that.
No,
Kev.
Kev. Is that what you say up here? Our this? I mean, are you our Alison?
We do say it a lot, yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
See, if Stuart comes in, I'd feel a bit embarrassed saying our Stuart if he walks in. I mean, I used to watch him
to
play.
family members, Kevin.
I used to watch
him.
Yeah, but I watched him play, and he was pretty ferocious with the bat. I wouldn't have wanted to bolt him, and to have him sit next to me and say, "Our Stuart." Here's Norris, and it's beaten the keeper, it's beaten the batter, and that's going for 4 runs. I think that's 4 byes. What's the umpire going to signal? Yes, 4 byes up towards the pavilion here, and the Thunder move on to 61 for 4.
We didn't celebrate byes like that in our day, Kevin. It was a quiet, smug grin if you got byes, not a yay.
Carla Rudd having a mixed time behind the stumps. She missed Georgie Boyce a stumping. Difficult when the ball's full like that, but Boyce was out of her ground when she missed it. And Rudd didn't take it cleanly. She was 6 at the time. It didn't cost too many runs. She was out 3 runs later. That's turned away on the 45. Quick throw, which actually goes down the middle of the pitch. I think Freya Kemp was in 2 minds as she threw that, whether to throw it at the keeper's end or the bowler's.
Oh, the other fielders are remonstrating with a smile on their faces.
Thunder move on to 62 for 4 here in the 14th, having won the toss and elected to bat. Emma Lamb for 5, Kate Cross for 18, Boyce for 9, and Danielle Collins for 7 are the batters out for the Thunder. And it'll be Ellie Threkold who will face the next delivery from Tara Norris, who's into a 3rd over, none for 7 for the left arm seamer. That's full, and she misses that, and Rudd doesn't take that cleanly. They're always difficult when they're full for the keeper standing up. No real swing there for Tara Norris.
I'm fascinated by Threlkelt's stance, Kevin. What do you make of it?
Well, it's sort of wide feet. He's straddling the line and very bent knees, aren't they? Which I tell you who she reminds me. I'm just trying to think who she reminds me of. That's turned away nicely. Length ball square on the leg side. Paige Schofield comes in off the building site boundary in. Going to call it all side. 64 for 4. I've renamed it the building site away to our right. It's on the hotel that side. I think is it Tom Banton, sir, at Somerset? I think he stands like that. I saw there's somebody in the Somerset side that stands a bit like that. I'm sure it's him.
I don't know. Where does she go from there, though? You know, how can you move if you're already in? I don't know.
I agree.
I'm not.
Slower ball from Norris down the leg side, and that will be called a wide.
Biomechanics isn't as good as it used to be.
But yeah, you do think, you know, what coach has coached that as a stance?
There'll be a good reason.
I think so.
There'll be a good reason. I just don't know what it is.
I think it's Tom Banton. I'm pretty sure it's him. I should know actually, because I've watched him back a couple of times in the last couple of weeks. Norris comes in again and bowls. That's a good line and a good length. Oh, she misses it on a follow through. She'll be disappointed with that. Just nudged past right hand side. And
I don't think Threlkeld to be too disappointed to get off the
no,
mark, do you?
No, definitely not. 1 of 4 for the Thunder captain. But still Thunder probably way behind where they should be at the moment. I'm just trying to count up the boundaries. It's been 1-6 and 3 fours.
Oh, 3 fours.
Yeah, Kate Cross hit 2. As that's worked away nicely into the gap, just in front of square on the leg side. Threlkeld doubles her score to 2, and it's 66 for 4. The other boundary came from Danielle Collins. The other boundary.
Of course it did.
Yeah.
Beautiful shot.
It is. Alison, I think you're being replaced. I mean, not in the literal sense, no. Good to see you again. Okay. Thank you, Our Ellison. Here at Old Trafford, 66 for 4, then the Thunder, 14 gone, 6 to do, and coming in alongside me now is Beth Barrett-Wild, who's head of women's cricket, the 100. Have I got that right, at the ECB?
Yes, that is correct.
Fantastic, fantastic title, and not only that, of course, but what a competition to be involved with at the moment.
Yeah, look, brilliant. I mean, launching last summer, I think it surpassed a lot of our expectations. I think for the women and girls game in particular, you know, a truly transformative moment, like the crowds that we saw in the stadiums, the broadcast reach, just really sort of catapulted women's cricket to a wider audience, which is amazing.
It certainly did, doesn't it? Right, this is Georgia Elwes then from the pavilion end, and that's worked up to mid-off by Threlcold, but there is no run. I mean, I think it's fairly well documented that having the double headers was actually an accident in the end, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's one of those kind of a COVID silver lining, if there can be any taken from COVID. But yeah, the original plan was quite a standalone model, but we were able to bring those together through the pandemic.
Elwes bowls right arm over, and that's just worked into the gap in the covers by Threlcold, and she'll pick up a single, moves on to 3, 67 for 4. I mean, I think it's widely regarded that the women's side of it was the major success, wasn't it? A major success competition all round, but for the women, it was just like, whoa, off the scale.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we always talked about the scale that the 100 could bring to women's cricket, and I think, you know, the reach that we had through those 4 weeks was really incredible and very exciting.
Yeah. Here's Elwes, slower ball, and that's pulled away on the leg side by Sophie Eccleston, out towards deep mid-wicket, where Danny Wyatt fields. Took a great catch earlier, Danny Wyatt, to get rid of Kate Cross in that area, 68 for 4. What is the challenge now? Because having had such a great first year, how do you top that and move it on?
Yeah, it's that second album syndrome, isn't it? I think, look, this summer we're lucky. We've got a really great opportunity off the back of the Commonwealth Games to see a wider range of overseas stars in particular.
Elwes bowls, it's full, it's driven up to mid-on. There's a fielder just in front of the pavilion, 69 for 4 now in the 15th.
Yeah, so we've been able to track the likes of Elise Perry, Meg Lanning, Beth Mooney, Alyssa Healy. So some of the players that we'd hoped to see last year but couldn't unfortunately make it due to sort of travel challenges through the pandemic. But yeah, we'll get to see them all in action this summer.
That's good, yeah. So that moves things forward, which is good in itself, as Elwes comes in again with a right on medium pace. So that's a slower ball on the leg side, and that's turned away behind square, and that's going towards the boundary. That's Charlie Dean there, sliding into that and making the stop. And the Thunder pick up 2, I think that is. I kept my eye on the fielder rather than the batters. It was 2, and Eccleston moves on to 20. Of course, it's slightly different this year, I think, because of the Commonwealth Games. So the women start later, don't they?
Yeah, that's right. So we've got 8 rounds of men's matches before the women come in, but then we're back to that familiar double-header model thereafter.
Right. So Elwes bowls, it's full, it's driven back to the bowler by Eccleston. And that is the end of the over. 15 overs gone here at Old Trafford with Thunder 71 for 4. Is there a little bit of a worry? Is there a little bit of apprehension? Having had the double headers go so well, that all of a sudden we're going to have a few games now where it's just the guys. Are you slightly worried that it might alter the feel of the competition?
Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? I think, you know, definitely last year the women's comp really did bring something special to the event. The fact that it was that gender balanced presentation of men and women. And look, I think from my perspective, I'm fascinated to see how it goes, because I think I've been saying how important the women's competition is to the whole spectacle. So look, I think it could bring a slightly different vibe, but it's still going to be a brilliant competition. I know those men's matches are going to be equally exciting. So yeah, we've just got a really big summer to look forward to. I think the Commonwealth Games leading into the 100 for the women's game in particular, that's really unique. That opportunity, so yeah, it'll be fascinating to see how we can really kick on.
Yeah, that's well, I'm sure it'll be a success this year. Why shouldn't it be?
I hope so.
Oh gosh, I went to a couple of games last year and I really thoroughly enjoyed it. Fred Kemp is into the attack with her left arm seam. Was only 17 years old, this girl. Beth, amazing. She's got a couple of wickets already. It's a length ball and it's driven out into the covers by Threlcold, and there is no run. I tell you what's an interesting thing is, you probably will know in the build-up to this Blast tournament that a lot of counties have been blaming the 100 because of poor ticket sales. Although I have to say, in the games that I've done, the T20 so far, there seems to be a decent crowds, and there was one here this afternoon. But they seem to suggest that the 100 is taking away a bit from the Blast, as that's pulled away on the leg side by Threlcold, goes out towards deep mid-wicket. Paige Schofield fields, keeps it down to a single, 72 for 4. What would you say to that?
Yeah, look, I think there's been a few challenges with regards to sort of when the schedule was announced, the blast, and that being quite late compared to normal, which was kind of a knock-on impact from sort of the back end of last season. So I think there's that. But look, I think, as you said, I think we've actually sold more tickets than we ever have before. But maybe there's just a heightened expectation now, actually, around sort of that crowd attendance piece.
Slower ball from Kemp, and that's hit hard with a flat bat. One bounce down to deep mid-on, where it's fielded by Maya Boucher. We haven't seen her too much in the game. Normally the ball is going to her on a regular basis. Maybe she's just in areas where they haven't been going. 73 for 4. Threlcold is 5. Eccleston is 21. Alongside me is Beth Barrett-Wild, who's head of Women's 100 at the ECB. It is an interesting one, but I mean, everybody says about the price of the tickets. I mean, am I putting you on the spot here by saying, do you think that the price of a T20 Blast ticket is too high in well, maybe not compared to the 100, because obviously that's pricing is reasonable and people love that, and the people I speak to, they talk about the 100 all the time as that's turned away on the leg side. People younger than me, of course, for a single. 74 for 4, but the ones I work with who are much younger, they all talk about the 100, they don't talk about anything else. But do you think ticket pricing is having an effect?
Yeah, look, I think we're in an unfortunate time at the moment, aren't we, around sort of the cost of living crisis, and I think that makes everything sort of even more acutely analysed. I think a lot of research goes into ticket pricing against other similar sporting events and spectacles. So
Kemp bowls just break off. Rats on the pad there, probably pitched outside leg stump. Probably, well, I watch that on the replay if you're watching the live stream, but they'll come through for a leg by. 75 for 4 there, sorry.
Yeah, look, so I think it's difficult. I think ticket pricing, it's never sort of an exact formula. I think there's a little bit of art to it as well. So look, I think it's something that we'll just keep aware of with the clubs and with the county teams, and just sort of see how that goes moving forwards.
Kemp bowls, and that's work behind square on the offside by Threlcold, and almost a misfield by Ella McGacken, but she recovers well, and that's the end of the over. 16 overs gone, 4 to do here at Old Trafford, and the Thunder are at 75 for 4.
They need a big last 4 here, don't they?
They do, yeah. Did you used to play? Or
yeah,
do you still play? Sorry, I say used to.
No. I'm a former player these days, but yeah, no, I used to play with some of the girls playing today, so a few years older than some of them. But yeah, look, I used to play against Anya Shrubsole. She definitely cleaned me up a few times. Tough order batter, bowled a bit of off spin, but yeah, look, I was definitely the product of sort of my generation. Like, I graduated from university and there were no professional playing opportunities for me, so I had to make that kind of, well, that realisation and that decision that I actually had to go out there and get a proper job, so to speak. So yeah, look, it's just so exciting, I think, from my perspective, to be able to see 22 professional cricketers out there today being paid to play at Emirates.
22, sorry, make that 23 now with that ball from Charlie Dean, who starts her 4th and last over. She has 2 for 9 back in the side after a back spasm caused her to miss a game or 2, and that's swung away on the leg side. That's 2 bounces out towards Ella McGacken at deep backward square leg, and the Thunder move on to 76 for 4. So you play what, Lancashire, the Lancashire team?
So I used to play for Essex. So
yeah,
I played. I'm an Essex girl. So yeah, I used to play against Lancashire women in the Women's County Championship. So yeah, fond memories for sure.
Dean from that pavilion end bowls and down the wicket and misses. Or did she get an edge? I think she did. It took it past Carla Rudd. It's running towards the 3rd man boundary, and that could go all the way. Chases on Tara Norris, doesn't quite get there. You can tell from the home crowd that she didn't quite make it. Even Alison Burns got excited on that one. And that is 4 runs, which takes the total on to 80 for 4. That was a thick edge. I've just had a look on the stream. There was also a couple of replays on that LBW in the previous over, and I think on the whole it might just have pitched outside leg stump. Maybe. Batters gets the benefit of their doubt, which obviously should happen. 80 for 4 then. Threlcold is on 10 now from 13. Where did you play your game? Would you have played at Chelmsford at all on the county ground?
Yeah, a few times. Not as frequently as the girls get to play now.
No, it's all changing, isn't it? Down the wicket, it gets another thick outside edge, but it won't quite make it all the way to the boundary. Shrubsole's after it, but allows the youngster, Tara Norris, there's a bit of experience for you, allows Norris to go all the way, pick the ball up, throw it into Carla Rudd, and it's 82 for 4 with 2 balls left of the 17th over here at Old Trafford.
But I think that's the beauty of the new women's professional regional structure that we've got, is that those increased playing opportunities, and yeah, the like of the spectacle here this evening at Old Trafford.
Dean Bowles, that's flighted and that's driven. Oh, it's caught a ball. Great catch, Charlie Dean diving to her left, got two hands around the ball. And there's a little celebration there that we saw during COVID times where they just sort of touch legs rather than actually embrace. And that's a little push shot there, wasn't it, from Threlcold?
It's a good
and
catch.
She goes for 12. What's a good catch? There's no problems with her back there.
No, low and to her left, that wasn't it? That's a decent grab.
Threlcold goes for 12. They just can't get going, can they? Any of the Thunder batters. Top scorer so far, Kate Cross. Well, the ones back in the pavilion, Kate Cross with 18, but Sophie Eccleston, of course, is still out there on 22. Let's look at the 100 in the future. Where have you got? I mean, I guess everybody, would say, "Oh, we've got short-term plans, medium-term, long-term plans." I mean, are you able to say where you think this competition should be going for the women?
Do you know, it's difficult actually. I think the pace of change is so fast. I wouldn't want to put, this isn't me trying to squirm out of the question, but it's difficult to project how big it can be. I think we've seen just, in the space of one season, the sort of the imagination that it's captured and what it's already done. So look, I think my long-term ambition for women and girls cricket is that it becomes commercially sustainable. And I think the 100 competition has a big part to play in that, around driving that audience growth. So that's certainly something that I'm working hard on behind the scenes. But look, I think it's just the more opportunities we can give to the women's game, the better.
Laura Marshall is the new batter who plays that length ball back to Dean, and there's no run. Charlie Dean finishes her spell. She has 4 overs, 3 for 16 on her return to the Vipers side after injury, and after 17 overs, the Thunder are 82 for 5. Yep, sorry.
Yeah, so look, I think there's just a lot of optimism actually, and a lot to look forward to with it. So I think, yeah, we've got a big summer this year. Next year we've got the Women's Ashes, the Men's and Women's Ashes side by side. So that's another big platform for us. So look, it's accelerating very quickly. I think, yeah, 5 years time, who knows? Sold out stadiums, standalone fixtures perhaps. Yeah. That's kind of definitely got to be the ambition. And I think ultimately, from my perspective, it is all about just normalising cricket as a sport for men and women, boys and girls. I think we're starting to see that now, but we still have a little way to go.
Tara Norris back into the attack, 3 overs, none for 11, and she's bowling to Sophie Eccleston, who works that ball with a flat bat away on the leg side, out towards deep mid-wicket. 3 Vipers fielders patrolling that boundary away to our right, and Thunder move on to 83 for 5. Eccleston has 23 off 25. How would you measure sort of success over the next year or two? Because I mean, I suppose when you've got double headers, I guess you don't know if you're selling more tickets or whatever because it's the women's game, or because both, or whatever. How do you measure that?
Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, we have lots of metrics, loads of KPIs, key performance indicators across different elements.
Norris bowls, it's hit in the air, this should be caught at mid-on. Boucher's under that, simple catch, and that's just lobbed to her off the bat of Marshall, and she goes for no score, and the Thunder now are 83 for 6.
But yeah, look, we look at things around attendance, we can measure sort of ticket sales and various demographics, etc. around that, and making sure that we're trying to, in particular, get more women and children through. That's like our key kind of target audience, is around families. But then also, like, from my perspective, one of the things about the 100 that I'm really passionate about is how it really does inspire that participation piece. And we can definitely measure that. So we've got 2 entry-level programs, All Stars Cricket and Dynamos Cricket, for 5 to 8-year-olds and 8 to 11-year-olds. And Dynamos very much is a program that is linked to the 100, so we can measure how many girls are signing up to that program. And we actually saw that last year, sort of green shoots of that. So we have 2 windows for that program. One runs before sort of the first half of the season, and then we've got another window during the 100. And I think we saw around a 10% uplift in terms of girls signing up to Dynamos. So again, like that whole, if they can see it, they can see, and feel that it is a game for them, and then that has sort of linked straight through into girls signing up to that program. So yeah, look, more people watching, more people playing, world-class cricket, and I think ultimately that piece that I've said around that revenue generation. So how can we turn women's cricket into sort of a commercially sustainable product?
Would it matter to you if there was only 100 cricket here and not around the world? Would that not be a problem, do you think? It's only played here.
That's a great question.
Norris bowls to Laura Jackson. I seem to be coming out with a few, don't I? I'm obviously having a good night tonight. Thank you.
No, look, it's a really interesting question. I think at the moment, I don't think we're too worried about that. I think, we've got something which has been designed specifically for some of the challenges that we face as a cricket watching nation. And I think so far it's been relatively successful. So look, I don't think we're too concerned about that. If it gets picked up, then brilliant, because all it is about is trying to sort of throw cricket's doors open. So We will see.
Norris to Jackson, who pulls that away hard into the leg side, but only as far as Paige Schofield at deep square leg. And Jackson is off the mark. Laura Jackson, one of the very few Cumbrian county players in this Thunder side. There's one or two. Laura Marshall was one of those as well. Played early season in that inter-county T20 tournaments. 84 for 6 as Norris comes in with 2 balls left of her spell. She has 1 for 13. Norris left arm over and bowls. It's down the leg side. Well taken by Carla Rudd, who asks the square leg umpire for a stumping, who shakes her head, and that is not out. It's not called a wide either. Maybe just a flicked pad.
Yeah.
So the floodlights beginning to have an effect here at the Emirates Old Trafford. 84 for 6. They need a few more runs here, don't you think?
They do. I think, you know, they've probably been looking to get up to 120 as par. Yeah, what have they got? They've got 2 overs remaining. I mean, it could still happen. Need a few blows here. Probably Eccleston. She can hit a ball a very long way. So yeah, let's see how she goes.
She's going to need to, isn't she?
Yes.
Closing overs. It's a length ball, which is turned away on the other side. Now they run the first one quickly. Danny Wyatt's in quickly as well, but they're going to take her on, and I think that's a good decision. Wyatt had too much to do there. End of the over, 86 for 6. I think there's a double change here, Beth.
Oh.
Is there one last thing you'd like to say, or are you all right?
No, I'm good. I'm having a lovely time, though. It's really great to be up here, and thanks for having me on.
No, thank you. That's Beth Barrett-Wild, head of women's 100 cricket at the ECB. What a job they've done already, and of course we look forward to the 100 cricket this season. Scott Reed will be coming in now to take you through to the end of the Thunder innings. And of course, yes, it's me here, isn't it? And a word from him, and then it'll be Alison Byrne, formerly of the Lancashire women.
Thank you, Kevin. Yeah, 2 to go, 86 for 6. Sophie Eccleston's 25 from 27. Absolutely crucial here for the Thunder. Jackson at the other end. What can they try and get from these final 2 overs? What do you reckon, Alison? 2 overs left, 86 for 6. What are you taking?
Psychologically, they got to get over 100.
Here comes Elwes running in and bowls to Jackson. That's just played off the front foot and pushed away into the offside. And there's no run. Yeah, it feels so much better if you can get up to and above 3 figures, doesn't it? Can they try and push towards that 3-figure mark?
Well.
Jackson on strike, waiting for Elwes, who's in and bowling. It's a ball that gives her a little bit of width, and she just tries to force it away into the offside. Adams at extra cover fields, and there's no run. Just can't seem to get it through that infield. No. The leg side boundary is well guarded, long on, deep mid-wicket, deep backward square.
Well, at this stage you're looking for the big shots, and your mindset isn't to play it into the gap for a single, is it? So, catch 22.
Tap of the bat as Elwes from the Anderson end in and bowls, and that is chipped a little uppishly out through the onside. It's safe enough. It's going to bounce in front of deep backward square leg, and it's worth a run for Jackson. Moves on to 2, 87 for 6. It's been a really impressive kind of overall performance with the ball and in the field from the Southern Vipers. Can the Thunder find a bit of a fluid towards the back end of their innings? I think she's key here, isn't she, Sophie Eccleston? Try and face as many balls as possible.
Oh.
Swing and a miss on this occasion, beaten by Elwes and through to the keeper, and there's no run.
Yeah, I think so. She's in. She's got a good strike on her, times it well when she connects.
Yeah, she got a hold of that one. That might have gone.
A few people might have been taking cover there.
Aiming for a big hit out towards the mid-wicket boundary. This is pushed out into the offside just for a single. Out towards extra cover. And Sophie Eccleston moves on to 26 not out, 88 for 6 with 1 ball left of the 19th over, which I'm sure will be sent down by Anya Strupsov. She's got 1 over left. Always coming towards the end of her 4-over spell. Gone for just a 17 so far. Bowls to Jackson, a fullish ball which is driven away into the offside. Again, Adams at extra cover fields. They do get through for 1. I guess if you can't find the boundaries at this stage, Alison, just try and take the singles if you can.
We're in, you know, every run will count at this stage. we don't know what's going to happen in the next innings, but we know that Thunder have got to bowl well. We know that we're going to have to bowl more than well. Vipers bat very low. They've got a long batting order and a very short tail, and so every run will count.
On this pitch, though, we look at Thunder's slower deliberate bowlers, and I'm thinking in particular Sophie Eccleston here. 4 overs of Sophie Eccleston on a big pitch, and a pitch that just tend to turn a little bit. Might be intriguing. Here is Shrubsole in to send down the final over of the innings down the leg side. Now they're appealing for a stumping. We'll see that back on the replay. It's a big appeal, started by the bowler, backed up by the keeper.
It was close to being a wide, really, wasn't it? But having said that, of course, you can still be stumped off a wide. But I think Thunder would have been grateful for the run.
Yes, they'd rather have taken that. Yeah, there's no danger though. We saw back on the replay that Laura Jackson had her back foot over the popping crease. But, it's a dot ball to start the final over. Thunder need to try and squeeze out as many runs as they can from these final 5 deliveries. Shrubsole in and bowling. Jackson off the back foot, just drops it away into the offside for 1. That's clever batting.
Yeah, sensible. She's got Sophie on strike.
90 for 6.
She's eyeing up that leg side boundary.
Well, that is the shorter of the 2, isn't it? It's still a big hit.
It's well patrolled as well, but let's see. I've got a feeling she's just going to try and hoik this over mid-wicket.
Okay. Well, there is a deep mid-wicket and there's a deep square leg. Well, we see Sophie Eccleston try and hoik it over mid-wicket. Yeah, step across the stumps.
Oh, she tried.
She did. Didn't get contact with a clean contact with it. And a little bit frustrated there. It's been given as a leg bye.
Yeah, she was playing it. Trying to get it backward of square there, wasn't she? A big gap there, down there. Short fine leg.
Yeah, so trying to go through mid-wicket, trying to work it behind square leg.
A bit too much to ask.
91 for 6, 3 balls left. Shrubsole in and bowls and hit nicely back over the bowler's head. Scooped up at long on. Boucher it is, just down below us. So just the 1. Jackson moves on to 5. 92 for 6. What the Thunder would give now, Alison, for a boundary.
Oh yes, please. 2, if possible.
Would be ideal. 92 for 6.
I think she'll try it again, Scott.
You reckon? Behind square on the leg side
What do you
again?
think?
Let's see. Shrubsole in and balls. No, through the offside instead. Hit firmly enough. She wants a second.
She's getting it.
That's good running.
She's quick. Yeah, I think Anya's a bit too wise to let her have a no-go there. She bowled it a bit wider of the off stump, didn't she?
Yeah, she was not falling for that trick again.
Nope.
So 94 for 6. This is the final ball of the innings for the Thunder.
Oh, if we get a 6, we've hit 100. What do you reckon?
That will do. Right, Sophie Eccleston, over to you. Can you try and finish it off?
She tried.
She did. She hammered it straight to mid-off. Adams completes the fielding. And that is the end.
Well played, Vipers.
Of the 20th over. 94 for 6. You say, Alison, well played, Vipers. It feels like a very impressive all-round team performance.
I think if it was a football match, Thunders would be 2-0 down at half-time here. That sort of feeling to it, Scott. What are your thoughts here?
Well, I'm looking at that batting lineup that the Vipers have got, and I'm in complete agreement with you that they bat a long way down, and I feel that 94 for 6 is not enough, but it's a used pitch. It's a big boundaries to hit here at Emirates Old Trafford. It gives something, a little bit something for the Thunder bowlers in particular, the slower bowlers perhaps to work with.
Well, yeah, and we're blessed with some decent slow bowlers. You've mentioned Sophie Eccleston already, but we've also got Emma Lamb, very tidy leg spinner, bowls wicket to wicket. We've got Alex Hartley, World Cup winner. Hannah Jones takes lots of wickets, so we have got a lot of decent bowlers. I haven't even mentioned Kate Cross, Phoebe Graham yet.
No, just those two to add into the mix.
Yeah, exactly. So let's see, shall we? I was hoping for a bigger score, obviously. You know, it does take the pressure. It does take the pressure off the opening bats, for example, for Vipers. They're looking at the score, they're thinking 94 for 6. We don't need to do anything silly here. But as Danny White's opening the batting for Vipers, she can do things silly all the time and still hit sixes and fours all over the place. So we're in a bit of strife, to be honest.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how it all unfolds. Thank you to Alison, and he'll be back for commentary in the second innings of the match, and likewise Stuart Law as well. So just to recap what we've seen here: Thunder batting first, 94 for 6, with Kate Cross making 18, Sophie Eccleston on 28, Ellie Threlkeld on 12. 2 wickets for Freya Kemp, 1 for Tara Norris, 3 for Charlie Dean. 94 for 6 the Thunder finish on. That's a target for the Southern Vipers to make it 5 from 5 and qualify from the group. That target is 95 to win.
In the sportsbreak.com stand, and to celebrate today's historic double header, we have been celebrating all things women in sport here at Emirates Old Trafford. I have got Alice from the Thunder and Lauren from Sale Sharks. Guys, what have you been making of today? How good is it to see the women actually headlining an event over the men?
It's amazing. It's been an unreal experience so far, and to see the girls out there performing on such a big stage, and to have the men earlier. People have stayed on, which has been amazing. Girls get the chance, and hopefully a good second innings here, and let's see them win.
And I guess, you know, especially for you, well, both of you really, like, how important would it have been for you sort of when you were younger to be seeing things like this? Like, obviously you've luckily both got into your sports anyway, but, you know, in terms of just seeing it on that bigger stage, what do you think it's going to do to propel sort of the future of women's sports? And, you know, a lot of it is trying to get that funded. How much do you think things like this today is going to help that?
Yeah, I think it's all about exposure in particular, and making sure that young girls and women of all ages, I suppose, can see the top level of all sports across the country. I think it's really important as well to have role models that young girls and women aspire to be, and to show that they can keep playing sport as long as they want, and they can play at the top level, and hopefully it'll just hope to grow at grassroots level and all the way up to where we are today.
So as well, you've had the panel as well. What kind of things were you talking about, you know, during that? What kind of things came up?
So I focused mainly on the girls' trip to Dubai, which was amazing to be a part of, for Lancs to fund us to get over there. Great facilities, it was a great experience.
Perfect. Well, thank you guys both for joining us and being here on this historic occasion. And we are going to head back over to Hugh.
Carla, thank you very much indeed. Yes, indeed, it has been a special occasion. We are halfway through, and we know that the Vipers will need a 95 total to win this game. Stuart Law and Alison Bird have jumped down. Well, actually, if they jumped down, that might be a little bit dangerous. Have made their way steadily down from the third floor commentary box on Lancs TV. Stuart, your assessment of the batting performance, it was hard work, or at least harder work than what we saw earlier on.
Yeah, I thought the Vipers were very disciplined. They're obviously very well drilled by Charlotte Edwards, so they put on a tremendous show in the field. I thought they bowled really well, bowled to their fields. The Thunder found it difficult to hit the boundary, but you know, they've got 95 to defend. You know, it's not out of the question, but it's got to be a phenomenal performance to restrict the Vipers to that total.
And we saw the value of the strangling of what we spoke about earlier with the spinners, but it was an all-round display from the Vipers that managed to just throttle any efforts to get away from the Thunder's batting lineup.
And Charlie Dean was outstanding, wasn't she? She didn't spin the ball a great deal, but she was very, very disciplined in the lines and lengths and made it difficult to score, and everyone else just followed suit. It was a thoroughly professional performance from the Vipers.
Alison, give me a sense of what you think this bowling lineup for the Thunder has in terms of its strength, because if you do look up and down the line, you probably would say that it's the bowling that has the priority in terms of the abilities of these players.
Stuart mentions the brilliant bowling of Charlie Dean, but we're blessed that we've got Sophie Eccleston coming back. She's economical, she turns the ball, she's tall, so she might elicit a little bit more bounce. We've got Alex Hartley, World Cup winner. Hannah Jones is, you know, another tidy little off-break bowler who's taken wickets in this competition. Emma Lamb's fresh off getting 6 wickets for Lancashire. All spin bowlers, all offer something different. So, yeah, Stuart's absolutely right. It's going to take a phenomenal performance to restrict them anywhere near this target, but that's why we love cricket. That's why we love cricket.
And you look up and down that scorecard for the Thunder, you just see that it was difficult to get going. A lot of starts, but because the Vipers managed to take wickets fairly regularly, that provides the pressure that makes it easy to take more wickets.
It's a dripping tap effect, isn't it? More every time there's a good ball or a dot ball, the screw is turned, and that can play with any player's mental approach to the game. Having said that, again, you can't take away anything from the Vipers. I can't remember a drop catch or one piece of misfielding on the old wickets. Other than that, they're exceptional. You get a really good view from it up there. You see the movement, the backing up, the attention to detail. It's all there in CinemaScope from up there. It's great to watch.
A lovely catch from Charlie Dean off her own bowling, and from Danny Wyatt as well.
Super catch.
But there is, I think, from what we've seen so far, we know that the boundaries are not the biggest in terms of how they could be at Old Trafford, but it's just tougher if you know that you're under pressure. Because if you think about the Kate Cross and Sophie Eccleston bumped up the order, they were the ones probably that got the best of it. But even that was pretty tricky to get the regular boundaries.
Make no bones about it. I say we, sorry.
It's all right, as long as I don't, you are.
Thunder are definitely more confident in their fielding and their bowling than they are with their batting, and it is an area for development, really. But we'll see. Let's see. As I said to one of the other co-commentators up in the box, this is a football match. We're 2-0 down. People have come back from 2-0 before at half-time, maybe even 3-0. I mean,
we haven't got time to list all those occasions, but there are indeed plenty. Just a final word, Stuart. I'm going to ask you, as I did earlier, to put your coaching hat on. If you are attempting to try and unleash the potential of what is a batting lineup that has it but hasn't had too many opportunities to display it, what would you say to them? Is it a freedom that's needed? Is it I don't know, is it time in the gym? Is it working on your skills, or a combination of all those three things?
One thing that watching women's cricket, I've been involved in the women's game in Australia for a short period of time, but one thing the women do have is technique. Now, to me, technique is power. You look at a girl like Danny Wyatt, who we see hit 6s over cover. Meg Lanning hit 6s over cover, and they do that from pure timing, technique. It's not so much about power. I don't think gym time for the girls not necessarily the answer, but it does come from freeing the mind. It looks like sometimes they're a bit stuck between, if I play that shot, I might get out. You've got to get those thoughts out of your head, and you've got to think, I'm going to hit the ball, I'm going to pick my spot, I'm going to really commit. And once you start doing that and you get one away, your confidence builds. And once your confidence builds, this game becomes a lot easier.
Yeah, it's a fascinating developmental journey that you see some of these girls go on, because we forget, so incredibly young and don't have the kind of experience that they would do for the men's cricket, just in terms of games played. To both of you, thank you. We will see you again later. We will hear you very shortly. To Stuart Law and Taliesin Bird, thank you very much indeed. We'll be welcoming the teams back on very shortly, with the Vipers chasing 95 to win.
Life is what you make it, so make it count.
Make it better, make it greater.
Make it have a purpose.
Make it worthwhile, make it faster.
Make it work for you.
Make it loving what you do.
Make it your passion.
Make it happen.
Make it in media, make it in sport, make it in business, make it in digital.
Make it possible.
Make it easy.
Make it your way.
Don't just make it through each day.
Make it pay.
Make it for real at UA92.
Enough. That target for the Vipers to win them is 95. Kevin James is alongside me. What do you reckon, Kev? It feels a bit light, that for the Thunder, when you look down at the power that the Vipers have got in their batting lineup.
you just felt the Thunder never really got going, did they, really? There was no real momentum. I think it's disappointing that, you know, they rely heavily on Emma Lamb and Georgie Boyce at the top of the innings. They've done them a really good turn in a couple of the games in the groups. They never really got going, and I think the others took their lead from that, really. I think the Vipers were very disciplined with their bowling and in the field. It didn't really let them go at all, and you know, they limped to 94 for 6, didn't they, really? And you know, listen, that shouldn't be enough. No way. So you know, it would have to be some amazing bowling. You know, Kate Cross and co. There'd have to be some amazing bowling there, and I think the Vipers would probably have to bat by far and away the worst they've batted in the group so far for this even to be close.
We shall see. The umpires are heading out, and the floodlights are beaming down. I've seen the Thunder players just going through their warm-ups down towards our left-hand side. Little team huddle taking place. Captain Ellie Threlcold, only a young skipper, but she was saying to us in the build-up how much she was relishing the prospect of having the responsibility to lead the team. She does have a few additional support in and around her with the form of a couple of England internationals. That might help. Kate Cross and Sophie Eccleston back with the Thunder side for this game, but
their bowling looks stronger. I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, you know, 94 should be a comfortable total to chase, but the Thunder bowling-wise are stronger in this game. So you know, when you've got that, the players will know themselves that they are a stronger bowling unit. So that gives them a little bit of an extra step in the field, saves a few extra runs. If they get a couple of early wickets, you know, you just never know. And the Vipers are put under pressure, but you know, really, you know, they should be too strong for this.
It's going to need a really special power play, isn't it, from a Thunder point of view? And it's going to need a Vipers to make a bit of a mess of it to make this a bit of a contest, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, you know, I hope it's a close game. Of course we do. I think we all want to see close games, and the crowd that have stayed behind from this afternoon, you know, would like to see a close game as well. But it really, if this plays out the way it should, then you know, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. The way the table is here is that Vipers only have to win this to make sure that they are going through to finals day, because they currently lead the group by 4 points from the Northern Diamonds, and when Vipers complete this game, they've both got one game to go. So should they win it, they'll be too far ahead of Diamonds. I don't think the bonus point tonight will come into play, but in fact, it won't, will it? So I don't think we need to worry about this. I think the fifth point is immaterial. They might look at it. Actually, the Vipers will look at this. I tell a lie. Actually, the Vipers will look at this and say, "Hang on a minute, we're only 1 point at the moment ahead of Sparks in the other group. Whoever wins the group will want to be the ones that finish outright best team, because they'll go through to the final." So the Vipers only need to chase this down in 15.5 overs. So if they do that, they get the bonus point.
I guess, and they say, with it being just so close now to qualification, it's just get the job done, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. But 5 points will be mighty handy with one game to go, because, as I say, I don't think any team wants to play the eliminator. They want to be at the... Of course, 3 teams want to play the finals day, but I think the 2 teams that play at the eliminator, somebody's going to be amazingly disappointed when they miss out on that first game.
We'll see how it all unfolds. We've got Sophie Eccleston to send down the first over of the Vipers innings. 95 required, 120 balls to get up. Here comes Sophie Eccleston in a bowling. That's off the back foot and cut away by Danny Wyatt, away through the offside, and she sprints back for 2. So a nice, bright, positive start. Sliced away towards a deep point boundary. 2 runs for Danny Wyatt, and the Vipers are up and running.
Yeah, she's in good form. 76 on Sunday against Lightning off just 44 deliveries, and 48 in the game before against the Diamonds off 43 on a tricky wicket at Riverside.
Little tap of the bat. Here's Sophie Eccleston in a bowling, goes back again, cuts once more. Good stop inside the circle. And Wyatt just gets the single. Moves on to 3. As indeed do the Vipers, as we bring you the very start of the reply. Southern Vipers set 95 to win this Charlotte Edwards Cup fixture here at Emirates Old Trafford on BBC Radio Lancashire, on our DAB frequency, or on the BBC Sport website and the app, via BBC Solent as well, and Lancs TV, bringing you pictures with the sun setting and the floodlights taking effect. You can see the shadows of the players as Eccleston bowls. And Adams looks to try and cut, but a play and a miss. And taken by the keeper, Ellie Threlcold, and there is no run. So 3 without loss, 3 balls into the first over, which has been bowled by Eccleston. Left arm around, bowls again. And Adams off the back foot. It's a good looking shot, just cut away into that offside region. And Danny Collins with a tumbling stop. Come back for 2. Adams moves on to 2, 5 without loss.
There's a bit of bite there in the surface for her, isn't it, really? I mean, it's not just going on with the arm, isn't it? It's just a little bit there to work with. It's a fraction too short.
Didn't think that the... we saw an awful lot of spin, didn't we, in the men's match when Lancashire Lightning were bowling. It's a quicker ball fizzed in by Eccleston, which is turned away behind square on the offside by Adams. And there's no run. But you're going to get a bit of bounce here too, aren't you, for a spinner? And Sophie's a tall bowler. So well as a little bit of perhaps bite and turn, you got that little extra bounce in the pitches here. And it's fizzed in again. It just deflects away off the pad away into the onside. And they threw for a leg by. And that is the end of the first over. So 6 without loss. Adams on 2. Wyatt on 3. 89 needed. 114 deliveries to get those runs. So a nice bright start by the Southern Vipers. As Kevin's explained, the equation for Vipers is pretty simple. You're going to win the game, and you're not far off being where you need to be. For Thunder, what they would do for a bit of a magical spell with the ball here. They're opening up Alison Byrne with their 2 most experienced bowlers, their 2 England internationals, 2 real stars of the game in Kate Cross and Sophie Eccleston. They're going to have to go at it hard in this power play. They need wickets, don't they?
Absolutely. You can't blame them for going with Cross and Eccleston. Although having said that, Emma Lamb and Laura Jackson have done admirably in their absence.
Kate Cross has got a slip in place. Georgie Boyce, here she comes in and bowls from the Jimmy Anderson end. Turned away by Adams out towards mid-wicket where Sophie Eccleston fields, and there is no run.
She looked like she generated a bit of pace there.
Well, I think Stuart made the point before that she's obviously played an awful lot of cricket over the course of the last few weeks, so she would think is in kind of good rhythm.
See, Ellie's got herself a slip there as well.
Yeah, Georgie Boyce at slip. It's Cross in and bowls. That's a lovely shot, hammered away through the offside by Adams for 4 runs, out towards the point boundary. Blimey, you don't need to get it too wrong, do you, for it to be put away emphatically?
Well, Stu and I were just talking off camera there, and there was not really a big swipe of the bat there. It was more of a placement. Something he was talking about in our innings, Thunder's innings, they were trying to smack the leather off the ball in a way at some points, mistiming it, getting caught, or making an error of some description. There really wasn't an awful lot in the backlift there. It was just lovely placement.
Cross just pulls away as she comes in. Something didn't quite feel right. 10 without loss. There's a sweet looking shot for 4. Cross still got the slip in place. Skipper and the vice skipper next to each other, searching for a breakthrough. Cross in and bowls, and Adams plays forward in defence, and there is no run. Look at the experience that Kate Cross has going through her international one-day appearances, 46 of them. 13 T20 international appearances, 5 test matches, 62 one-day international wickets for Kate Cross. And she's back in to Adams on the front foot again, just eased away into the offside, picked up by Emma Lamb at extra cover, and there's no run. Wasn't to be today with the bat for Emma Lamb, but as Alison mentioned, she's a very, very good bowling option for the Thunder, as indeed is Hannah Jones, leading wicket taker in the competition so far this year for the Thunder. Cross in and bowls, little shuffle down the pitch, and it comes off the face of the bat beyond Georgie Boyce at slip, down towards the boundary. That's really good work by Phoebe Graham. get around and to stop that. It looked like it was 4 when it left the bat.
Certainly do, but we can't actually see the boundary here, Scott. So I was sort of looking at the crowd to see if they were pleased or not, and yeah, they seemed quite pleased that she stopped it, so that's how I could tell.
Yeah, Phoebe Graham is down on the deep third boundary, but quite wide. Well, to get across to her left-hand side and to stop the ball. Cross in to Adams. That's played back down the pitch, fielded by Cross off her on bowling, who stands there and says, "Don't you be straying out your crease, I'm going to throw at the stumps." End of the over, so 2 gone, 12 without loss. Target is 95 for the Vipers to win the match here at Emirates Old Trafford. They've made a nice, bright and breezy start, Alison.
Yep, they haven't really had to be too extravagant about it. They've been playing within themselves in a way, using the pace of the ball. Yeah, no pressure on them, is there? They can just take their time, ease the ball for 1s and 2s, and if it goes for 4, that's a bonus, you know.
You'll get decent value for your shots here. It's a quick outfield. If you can get it past the infield, you don't always need to go high for your boundaries here at Emirates Old Trafford. The angles that the batters have to work with, you do get good value for it along the ground as well.
Ooh.
This just loops up as Sophie Eccleston comes in, runs up off the face of the bat of Danny White and lands safely into the onside. Get through for 1. Actually, it's been given as a leg by that. So no bat on it at all. It just looped off the thigh pad, perhaps. So White remains on 3. This is cut by Adams, just backward of point, but for no run. We've had already some results in the Charlotte Edwards Cup today. We had the earlier games taking place, this being the headline evening match here at Emirates Old Trafford tonight. But the Northern Diamonds playing the Lightning, Sunrisers against the Central Sparks, and the Western Storm against the Southeast Stars. Adams off the back foot, just plays the ball away behind square. Pick up and throw by Laura Jackson towards the keeper. Got through for a quick single.
Very quick. Surprised they took that on, really. They didn't need to take chances at this stage.
Pick up and throw, run into the gloves of the keeper, but it was a sharp single. 14 without loss. Wyatt and strike. Eccleston in and bowls. It's a nice shot, punched to mid-off. Alex Hartley gets across to a left-hand side to field, and there is 1 run. 15 without loss. Brings Adams back on strike. 9 from 12. And Sophie Eccleston, left arm around the wicket. A little shuffle back and chopped away again through the offside for 1 run. Up towards deep point, where Danny Collins comes up to field. The score moves on to 16 without loss.
It's good batting, Scott. You can't deny it. Placement, using the pace of the ball. Not trying to overhit. Oh, hello. Did
hello,
I speak
indeed.
too soon?
Hello indeed.
There's another one for Bob the Builder. Can he fix it, I wonder?
Down on 1 knee. Big slog.
There he goes.
Is he after it again?
He must be got an overtime for this.
He's having a busy night.
Double time.
Goodness. Now Kate Cross is stood there saying, just to your left, mate, just there. Underneath that seat. There it is, just there.
Danny can get out now. She's had her glory moment. Yeah, she pushed that one for a single, didn't she, Scott? That was. Did you say, Stuart, that was her forward defensive, did you say? Amazing. What a wonderful shot from a top player.
22
Enough said.
Without loss. It was an absolute gem. Down on 1 knee, out towards that big deep wicket boundary. Moves on to 10. Adams on 10 as well. 3 overs gone, 73 off 102. And the ball has again, yet again, been successfully retrieved from the building site, but maybe it's in a slightly dodgy state.
Maybe Thunder will
repair.
get a new ball to play with, Scott.
That would be
good,
nice. Yeah, that would be handy. No, they're all right with it. Happy with the ball. It was a terrific shot for 6, that wasn't it?
All right, Scott. Rub salt in the wound.
Got to admire it, though, haven't you?
Yeah, all right, Scott.
They do look a good team, don't they? 22 without loss, 3 overs gone. 73 off 102. Here comes Cross in and bowls, and that's just dropped into the onside. Eccleston picks up and throws at the stumps. Well, Adams has got through for one. Wasn't a direct hit. May have been a bit tight if it was.
Danny White on strike. I'm glad we're behind the wickets, not in front of them. Definitely not square. What's your money on, Scott?
Oh, I think
straight drive over the bowler's head?
I think just a little bit of sensible cricket. Just work it into a gap for one, I'm going for.
Oh, I said that.
Cross in. Trying to run it down towards short third. They're appealing for an LBW. They've got through. And there's no bat on it. It's been given as a leg by. Has it? No, they've got runs on it. Yeah, it was a little bit of bat on that. Yeah. So Wyatt moves on to 11. 24 without loss. Leading run scorer for the Vipers in the competition this year.
She said with actually no bias whatsoever.
Well, can Kate Cross deliver? Adams on strike.
Ooh.
Down the pitch she comes, just banged in perhaps a little shorter from Cross and through to the keeper, no run.
I think she meant that.
Bit of extra back in it from Kate.
That's it. Don't you dare hit me. Ball, feather the walls one.
Don't you come walking down the pitch to me.
And a few of the words added under her breath, I'm sure.
71 needed, 99 balls left. 24 without loss, halfway into the fourth over. Cross balls again.
Oh dear.
And that's pulled down towards fine leg. And it's 4 runs. Just helped around the corner. Bit of a gimme, really, that wasn't it?
Yes, I think there was a rush of adrenaline there, and as the adrenaline rose, the brain cells froze. Oh, I like that one. I'll use that one again.
Cross, still got the slip in place.
Ooh.
Adams turns the ball in the air, but it's going to be safe enough. Out towards deep backward square leg. Score moves on to 30 without loss. That previous delivery that went for 4 was also signalled as a no ball as well by the umpire. And there's Cross.
It's better.
Wyatt defends a ball that's just comes back into a fraction. Play it back along the ground, gathered by Cross, and there's no run. 1 ball left of the fourth over. Kate Cross from the Anderson end looking for this breakthrough for the Thunder. I see Alex Hartley at mid-off twirling her arms around. Might be into the attack. We've already had the 2 overs from Sophie Eccleston. Cross in and balls again. White goes back, just tries to run it off the face of the bat down towards that deep third region. Just picked up backward a point, and there's no run. So Cross has bowled 2 overs for 14. Eccleston bowls 2 overs for 14. Captain Ellie Threlkeld has gone with her 2 strike bowlers in the first 4. Gone for a combination of 30 between them, and not a wicket neither. So not quite gone to plan just yet for Ellie Threlkeld, and we are going to see Alex Hartley coming into the attack to replace Sophie Eccleston. 30 without loss. And it is to be Hartley, who's got the sunglasses on.
It's quite bright down there, actually, with the old floodlights on.
Okay. Still not convinced by that, but you know.
I'm trying to, build her up a bit.
In, left arm round the wicket and down the leg side. That'll be signalled as a wide. It's a 31 without loss. She was telling me a little bit earlier on about her new bowling action, which
yes,
first time I've
spotted
seen it. Oh, and that's come off.
I spotted it earlier. Kevin and I were talking about this earlier. And at Sale, after the game at Sale this time last year against the Vipers, Kevin and I, after the game, the girls were having a little lemonade, on the grass, and a few of the spectators came along and having a chat with her, and Alex Hartley was teaching them her famous bowling action. Hilarious. And I said to Kevin, the thing I said to him this afternoon was, Kevin, has she changed her action? And I think she has.
She's in and bowling to Wyatt, who's forward in defence, and there's no run. She has, yeah.
Do you know why?
Yeah, well, she told me that Stephen Parry, a former Lancashire left-arm spinner, now part of the coaching staff with the Thunder team, said you're using far too much energy. It's Hartley in and bowling. Wyatt off the back foot, cut away into the offside. That's a good shot. It's one of those where the fielder's always interested, but it might just be to
well
no.
Fielded.
Excellent work.
Collins.
Danny Collins catching up with it. Oh, and then the throw comes in. There could have really been a bit of a run-out chance too at the non-striker's end. In the middle of all that,
Kevin, you all right?
they've had a two. Is that Kevin making that? I thought he was outside.
I thought there was a cat in the room squealing. He was getting a bit worried then.
34 without loss. So yeah, she said it's come from Stephen Parry. Don't bother doing all that twirly-whirly stuff. As this is hammered into the offside by Wyatt for no run. So she had a bit of a go with it over the winter.
Yeah.
And she stuck with it, pretty happy with it.
I thought it was my eyes deceiving me when I saw her bowling on the couple of games earlier in the season.
Hartley left arm around, balls again. Wyatt coming at pace down the pitch, and the ball just deflects away off the thigh pad into the onside. There is no run. Final ball of the fifth. Wyatt on 13, Adams on 17. Hartley for the Thunder from the Statham end.
Ooh. Well done. That's experience, isn't it? Saw the batsman moving, thought, oh no you don't, I'm going back, I'll have another go.
And again, and down comes the batter, swing and a miss. I think bowled, not stumped, I think.
Well done.
Wyatt's gone for 13.
I am loving that. Cat and mouse game.
Oh no, stumped.
Yeah.
Stumped by Threlkeld.
She's quick, Threlkeld, isn't she? Got a quick hand. Oh, it's Danny Wyatt. Well played, Danny.
I can tell you're bubbling with excitement. Well bowled, Alex Hartley.
You know, these two will have had these sort of games in the nets before, wouldn't they? Over and over and over again. In the back of Danny's mind there, I would imagine, oi Alex, you're not stopping your run up against me, I'm having you. It's these little games in between, in the games, that make cricket such a fascinating game when you're actually part of it.
Yeah, two players have known each other for a long time, wanting to get the better of the other.
Danny Wyatt out, Maya Boucher in.
Yeah, doesn't stop, does it really?
It's not really. Psychological for them though, to getting. I mean, to be fair, Danny Wyatt did get 76 off 44 balls very recently. I think was it her last game she played? Possibly, yeah. So she was in good nick, and Thunder would have been aware of that.
Well, credit to the bowler.
Absolutely.
Change of action or not, and smart glove work from Ellie Threlkeld, wasn't it?
Quick.
Cross to bowl a third over.
Oh, don't run on that.
Yeah, just deflects away into the...
well, the volume level in the fielders has gone up, was a good sign that a team are motivated.
Yeah, the Vipers on the back of a 5-wicket win against Lightning, of which Danny Wyatt got 76 off 44, 11 fours and a 6. Her work for the evening's done. We're going to get a lovely sunset here in Manchester. And the sun just peeks its way through between the gap between the floodlight and the stand as we look. Adams on the front foot trying to push it away into the offside. Emma Lamb is at extra cover to field. And there is no run. 34 for 1 in the 6. 61 off 88. Deliveries is the equation. Cross going to bowl 0-4 here. She's gone 3 on the spin.
Yeah, she's done that in the past.
She's 2 balls into a third. In and bowls, and Adams gives herself a bit of room and carves the ball away into the offside. Great catch.
In.
Wonderful catch inside the circle at extra cover. Adams has gone.
Is that Laura Jackson?
Hit firmly, low down.
Yeah.
Great catch from Jackson.
That was very good. They're very, very tricky to judge as well. I mean, Stuart mentioned the running catch that Danny White performed earlier on in the day, but this is a finger breaker if you get it wrong. Well done. Well, there you go. Things can turn on a halfpenny, can't they?
Well, they can't they? It needs a couple more like that, doesn't it? But we'll see. It's going to need something a little special for the Vipers to make a bit of a mess of this.
Another England player comes in.
They never stop, do they? Georgia Elwes.
Kevin's piping up in the background there. Oh, Kev.
34 for 2, halfway into the 6th. Kevin's coming back on soon. Is he feeling a bit chipper in the back of the box?
No, did you say you didn't think that was a catch? Did you say that you thought that wasn't a catch? Oh, sorry. I thought you did. I was about to get you some new glasses.
Elwes on strike. Here's Cross. First wicket for her tonight. In and balls. Dropped into the offside. Jackson quickly upon that, coming up from that extra cover region. And there is no run. 61 off 86 for the Vipers. Just giving themselves a bit of a sneak here, hasn't they? Thunder, a couple of wickets in this power play.
Absolutely. It won't harm, will it? Getting a couple of wickets, 2 big wickets.
2 balls left at the over. Cross balls again forward as Elwes defends away into the offside. Emma Lamb fields and there's no run. Busy there as ever. Emma Lamb, short extra cover.
She is a proper competitor, I think.
Sure, itching to have a bowl as well. Not used yet. Won't be too far away. Final ball of the 6th. Cross in, down the leg side, signalled as a wide as it's taken by Ellie Threlkeld. So she'll have to bowl it again. 35 for 2.
Come on, Kate, get a wicket with that extra ball.
1 for 15. With 1 ball left of her 3rd. What's the cross come back in and balls? It's worked away off the pads.
Nice shot.
Just a little flick away through square leg for a single. And Elwes off the mark with that and keep to strike as well. So 6 overs gone. That's the power play done. 36 for 2, 59 needed, 84 balls left. Alison, a few thoughts from you, and then Kevin's coming in.
Well, they're still very much ahead on run rate, the Vipers. Still got an awful lot of decent batting to come in their lineup. But it certainly put a bounce in the step of the Thunder fielders. Yeah, so everything to play for. I still think Vipers are ahead, but let's hope for a stonking comeback in the next few overs.
Well, it's
change of bowler is. Oh no, sorry, it's still Hartley. Beg your pardon.
Still Hartley with that new action of hers.
Yeah, I'm slightly blonder hair than last season.
Is it?
I think so. I'm not a great expert on hairdo colours, but there you go.
I can't say I've studied her that closely, but I'll take your word for it.
That's just the beautiful sunlight glinting off the highlights of her hair.
It is lovely, isn't it? Yeah. 1 over for 4. And that's played on the leg side on the 45, but there's no run there. Boucher running to the danger end says no. So the Vipers, as I understand the bonus point rule is that they, to get an extra point other than the 4 win, assuming they win this game, as that's flighted by Hartley and that's pushed off the front foot by Elwes out on the onside, they would need to score 95 in 15.5 overs. And then that will give them the extra bonus point, which of course at the end of the day it's a bit of a scramble to try and finish as the best top side of the 2 groups, and then of course you play straight in the final. You don't have to play the eliminator. That's played out on the onside by Elwes, and she moves on to 2, and it's 37 for 2. That's if I understand the bonus point right, but I'm not saying I'm 100% correct.
Well, I'm quite surprised you were even talking about bonus points to me, Kevin, knowing where my heart lies.
Well, Thunder might pick up the bonus point yet, but I think the Vipers would have to be all out for about 60 or something like that. I don't, but I'm not even going to get down that calculation. As that's played towards mid-wicket by Boucher.
Looking at the scores, though, I think Vipers are far enough ahead to not to actually require it. Have you got your facts and stats there?
Well, the Duckworth Lewis is 31 at the moment. They're just ahead of that, so they're not actually going great guns, are they? As that's pushed out on the onside. Accurate stuff here from Alex Hartley.
That new economical bowling action is proving its worth.
Just think how many more internationals she might have played if she'd had this action.
If Sophie had
saved all that.
Born.
Yes, yes, that's true. That's pulled away by Boucher, and that's going very quickly back at a square on the leg side, and that is 4 runs. Boucher is off the mark, 41 for 2 at the end of the 7th. Probably the worst ball that Hartley's bowled, but you could see the line she was trying to bowl. It was just a bit too short. And actually, in the end, by the time it reached Boucher, it was well outside leg stump.
I think he jinxed her, to be fair, Kev.
Do you think so?
Oh.
So 7 overs, 41 for 2. The Vipers, as the sun gets a little stronger, shining into our commentary box here, opposite end of the pavilion. Very impressive looking at the pavilion, straight down the opposite end of the ground. And again, there's some late evening sunshine here in Manchester. Stuart Law is back in alongside me. And Stuart, what have you made of the play so far, from both sides' point of view?
Yeah, look, score suggests, you know, the total chased that the Vipers have got this well in hand.
They should have. Well, it's very nearly hit the leg stump, and it's not totally taken by Threlcold, and there were no run in the end as the ball just went behind her a bit.
But both Boucher and Elvis have just started their innings, and Thunder did the right thing. They had 2 batters out there on 0, and that's how to contain the run rate.
Another left-arm spinner out there in Hannah Jones is bowling from that pavilion end. That's turned away to deep square leg by Boucher, who moves on to 5. Or was that? That was Elwes, actually. Yeah, that was Elwes. So Elwes is on 3. Boucher has 4, 42 for 2.
And the dangerous Danny White in the sort of brief, you know, exhibition of what she can do. That 6 she launched into the grandstand. It was a brilliant shot,
wasn't it? And we were talking, didn't we, just before we came on air, that the boundaries are pretty similar to what the men had earlier this afternoon. So it is a big hit. Jones bowls, and that's full, and that's driven by Boucher up towards deep mid-on for a single, 43 for 2.
Yes, I know the game at the moment, it seems to be well in hand with the Vipers, but Thunder, they've just got to attack those stumps, make the batsmen, you know, make the play. If they make a mistake, they jump on that mistake and keep doing that. Just wickets started to fall.
Jones bowls, that's full, that's driven up to mid-off, and Elwes is taken off straight away as the ball not taken cleanly, and is 44 for 2.
Yeah, they keep taking wickets like that because they're not going to contain them, that's one thing.
No, both wickets falling with a score on 34. Wyatt for 13, Adams for 17. That's turned away on the leg side by Boucher once more. Runs the first one quickly. They won't pick up 2. And the total moves on to 45 for 2. Interesting, 2 left-arm spinners on at the same time. Reason, do you think?
Look, if they're your best spinners, it doesn't really matter when they bowl. If they're bowling in tandem, if they're doing a good job, it's just the way it works. But I don't see a problem with it.
That's driven up to mid-off. She's going to take a single there. Elwes moves on to 5. They're just trying to build the innings again here, with the momentum lost with those 2 wickets within the space of an over. And we've had 8 overs here at Old Trafford with the Vipers 46 for 2, needing another 49 off 72 deliveries.
Yeah, if I was coach of the Thunder, I'd be sitting in the dugout trying to work out how can we get dot balls. Dot balls will create the pressure, and the pressure it does funny things to people, you know. Get inside the head. They're not scoring freely off each ball, so can we squeeze, you know, mid-off, instead of being on the circle, can we get them, you know, 5 metres in towards the batsman, so it actually closes the gap between mid-off and cover. They can't just hit it straight at them and run. They've got to then take a real risk, and that's what you want. You want your batsmen to be scoring the runs, taking risks, and higher the risk, obviously the greater the reward. The batsman can win the game easily, or they lose their wicket, they perish, and you know the game starts rolling on.
It just feels that Thunder at the moment have got having their best bowlers here. They're all 3 left-arm spinners. Eccleston, we know how good she is. We know how good Hannah Jones is having a particularly good season this year as Eccleston's back into the attack, and that's just played a fought defensive by Elwes out on the offside. It seems a deliberate ploy here, take the bit of pace off, and as you say, you know, bowl straight, bowl accurately, and make the batters work hard for every single run. Eccleston bowling from our commentary end, a little bit short and trying to find some room there, Elwes, and no, says Boucher, as it goes out to backward point. They're just squeezing it a fraction.
And the way the girls get off strike is they try and hit across the line. That's their power zone. If you're attacking the stumps, they make a mistake. If they miss it, you've got to be hitting those stumps.
Eccleston in a third over here has none for 14 so far, and that's a little straight, middle and leg, and that's turned away by Elwes on the onside. She moves on to 7. It's 48 for 2.
And that's something the Vipers batsmen are doing better. They've actually found the gap. They're rotating strike. You know, the Thunder struggled. They got stuck hitting one pace to one fielder. They couldn't find the gap, and that sort of stopped their innings from progressing quicker.
Boucher facing Eccleston, who flights that one. It's full, and it's driven towards mid-wicket, fielded by Georgie Boyce. I think that's something I remember you playing in that. You were very good at finding gaps, especially when the spinners were on. That you seem to find it a lot easier than a lot of other players.
Thanks, mate.
No, you did well. And I'm not just saying it because you're sitting there. I mean, you know. I watched you for hours and thinking, gosh, you know, not so many dot balls going that guy's way. So that's played down to mid-on, and it's 48 for 2. But it's a similar situation here, what the Vipers are doing and, what, as you say, what the Thunder weren't doing.
Well, as a batsman, your job's not to stay in. Your job's to score runs.
Eccleston bowls, and again Elwes just finds that gap in front of square on the leg side, just working the ball into the gaps there, as Stuart Law has been saying. Quite happy not to hit the big shots, but just keep the scoreboard ticking along. They're not chasing a particularly big score. It's only 95 to win, but as I say, I'm sure they have half an eye on trying to knock these runs off within 15.5 overs for that extra bonus point.
Yeah, and Sophie Eccleston's, she's already bowled 3 overs. She's gone for 17. They won't take a risk against her, surely. Rated the best spinner in women's cricket. They won't be taking risks against her. So I think that's where they can bring the field up off Sophie, bring the field in and get them to try and play a big shot, which then they might score runs, they might hit a boundary, but they've got to take a big risk to do so. At the moment, they're just tipping and running and into gaps. It just looks too easy.
Yeah. Of course, if the Thunder had got about 150 or so, then that might have been a slightly different kettle of fish, because then, of course, the Vipers have got to think about some big shots to go with that, but they're under absolutely no pressure at all. Yes, Sophie Eccleston, as you mentioned there, over 100 internationals in all formats. And here's the new bowler. It's Laura Jackson with her right-arm pace, and that's played up to mid-wicket, and there's no run. So a bit of pace, having had a few overs of left-arm spin. Just mixing it up, really throw cold. The Thunder captain.
We saw it in the men's game, didn't we, earlier? That, my word, Lancashire was death by spin for Derbyshire.
Wasn't it just? That's a length ball which Elwes can't find an angle, and it's played up to mid-wicket. Get the mid-wicket and the extra cover into the game.
Get them close. I even still think, bring your mid-on up. Get them to try a big shot. Leave a mid-wicket out. Bring your mid-on up and get them to try and hit a big shot. Maybe they'll sky one out to the boundary trying to hit one dead straight. Got to try something.
Just loses a run up there.
They're not going to contain them.
No.
So they've got to take wickets to stop them scoring, and the best way to stop a batsman scoring is to get them out.
Do you think sometimes reputations dictate a field for certain players? Because at the moment it feels a hell of a shot to hit it over mid-on and mid-off at the moment.
Yeah.
Jackson bowls. That's a good length ball again. It's only played to mid-wicket. Bowling to the field.
And she's not doing anything extraordinary. She's just running up, and she's found a spot where it's difficult for the batsman to score, and that's all they have to do, is to create that dot ball pressure. I'm a big one that if you get 2 dot balls, something's going to happen. Now, not necessarily batsman gets out or hits a 6, but something will happen. There's been a couple of dot balls this over.
Yeah,
3 in fact.
Yeah, comes in from the pavilion end again. It's full, and it's just hit into the ground off the bottom of the bat there from Elwes. This is a good over. Nice line, nice tight line as well, as much as anything.
Yeah, seeing a few of the girls' games, anything off the stumps that they're able to free their hands, that's when they're comfortable in scoring. Anything dead straight, they've got to take a risk. And with the field set the way it is, I still think mid-on should be up in the circle, stopping that one. But right now, it's working.
It is, yeah. There's Jackson again and bowls. There's a big shot up towards mid-on. It's just going to be one bounce, couple of bounces as the ball plugs into the outfield. I'm not sure that would have gone over a normal mid-on. It may have done, but in the end, it's just a single. But Elwes playing the bigger shot there, but a good percentage shot hitting through the line.
Yeah, and if the mid-on was up in the circle, then she would have had to try and hit it even harder, which could have lost her shape. She might have spooned it to the fielder on the circle, but remains to be seen.
50 for 2 then, 50 up for the Vipers.
What
That's come up at the end of the 10th. Well,
what do we know sitting up here anyway?
Well, the good thing about it is, you know, with all your experience of playing and coaching around the world as Jackson bowls. Now, there's a huge shot from Boucher, wide of mid-on. That just plugs in the outfield, but, it's misfielded, and that's very nearly gone over the rope. But that's quite interesting, isn't it? Because having talked about that fielder at deep mid-on, both batters, Elwes and Boucher, have gone in that area, that over, towards the end.
Yep, they have. And because of the dot balls at the beginning of the over, that created that mindset of, okay, I need to score some runs, I need to hit a boundary. So I still think it could have been 4, but if you bring the fielder up, it just puts a different perspective on in the batsman's mind, thinking, I've got to get this pretty clean to get it over the head. And if they don't get it clean, it's an easy catch.
Yeah. So 52 for 2. We're halfway through. If you're watching on the live picture feed, you'll see the what do they call that? The Manhattan. Well, it was the Manhattan just earlier. There was there's the worm. Vipers have been ahead literally since the start, but the teams are slightly closer together as that's a low full toss, which always comes down the wicket. Doesn't time. Half fielded extra cover by that's Emma Lamb, isn't it, doing the fielding there, throwing that up to the keeper. 53 for 2. And Hannah Jones back into the attack. First over went for 5. And the Vipers are 53 for 2, needing 42 of 59 deliveries. That's a length ball that's driven up to mid-off by Boucher, but there is no run. Knowing the 2 Vipers players as I do, and going back to that deep mid-on at the front, Boucher, that is Boucher's shot, actually. She will take that on.
Yep. And
does well. I don't think Elwes likes that shot as much. Boucher goes over the top of mid-off using her feet. That's a lovely shot with mid-off up there. And lovely, lovely shot as the ball hits the rope just below us in our commentary position. 57 for 2. Boucher's the stronger of the 2. We use a bit more brute force more than Elwes.
That was a gorgeous shot. Beautiful cricket shot over mid-off, using her feet, chipping down, taking the risk, a calculated risk, but not trying to hit the ball too hard. But once again, they have to set this field, so they do create those chances.
Well, Boucher works that to mid-wicket. There's no run there. My Boucher, who was part of the England setup, got into the side towards the back end of last year, was part of the England A outfit, the squad, and that's hit in the air, and it's caught and bowled, and that is Boucher gone there. Tried to play that away on the onside, and I think she just got on a little bit too early on the ball, and Hannah Jones takes a good caught and bowled above her head, and the Vipers have lost 3 wickets now with a score on 57.
Yeah, probably not short enough to play the pull shot comfortably. Footwork needed to be a little bit sharper to get deep in the crease, but presented a good opportunity for caught and bowled, and Jones made no mistake, took it comfortably above her head. That is, it's a 3rd wicket. Okay, so now it's time to crowd the new batsman. New batsman comes in on strike. Let's try and get as many dots against her as we can. Create some pressure. Try and make her play a big shot. Gets us back in the game.
I think overall, I'm quite surprised that it's a fairly low-scoring game. I mean, the Vipers aren't ripping up any trees here either, to be honest. I'm quite surprised, seeing what we saw this afternoon.
Well, yeah, when you've got players like Liam Livingstone, if there's no margin for error. If you get it slightly wrong, it's out of the park. Here, it's slightly different. There's a bit of bounce which can upset the girl stroke play as well. The extra bounce that is in the Old Trafford pitch. Those cross-bat shots, you've got to be precise with your feet and understand the height of the ball. And when you're not used to it, it can be challenging. It's more like batting indoors, like in an indoor school, this surface, because it does hit and bounce a bit like tennis ball.
Doesn't it? It's quite a hard surface out there at times, isn't it?
Like a slab of concrete.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, gosh, yeah, you can hear the ball hit the back, that's for sure. Freya Kemp is the new batter who drives that up towards extra cover. This is an interesting move from the Vipers. The 17-year-old coming out ahead of the likes of Paige Schofield and Charlie Dean. I'm just wondering again that the Vipers have very much got their eye on this 15.5 over to get over the line and get that bonus point. That would suggest why Freya Kemp's come in.
Yeah, also she's left-handed, so it provides left-hand, right-hand combination. Left arm spin, ball spinning back into the left-hander, easy to hit away on the onside. So maybe that's another thought process that the brains trust down in that dugout, we're thinking.
Yeah, no, I think you're right on that front as well. Alex Hartley's going to switch ends. She's going to come in from the pavilion end here. 57 for 3 then, the Vipers. They've got a total of 9 overs should they need it or wish to, unless they're bowled out, of course. 38 needed of 54 deliveries. And Freya Kemp just faced that one ball in the last over, and it's Georgia Elwes, who's also been part of the England setup in the past and was part of the 8 squad. And that's a lovely shot, lovely sweep shot on the leg side, and that split the field, and that is 4 runs. That's right out of the meat of the bat.
That's a beautifully executed sweep shot. Hit it hard. Alex Hartley back in the attack, lands it on a good length, but that is met with a full force. Beautiful shot on the stump, so risk taken but executed perfectly, and as you say, split the deep square and the deep mid wicket perfectly for 4 runs.
Yeah, you can't do a lot about that as a spinner. As Elwes moves on to 13 of 21 deliveries, faces the next one from Hartley. Left arm round, comes down the wicket. Elwes uses her feet, drives straight to extra cover, and there is no run.
It's a crisp shot that too. That got to extra cover very quickly.
She's a really good player, Georgia Elwes, 30 years of age now. A few injury problems a year or 2 ago, and there's a sweep shot at the top edge into the air, and the keeper or the bowler can't quite get there in time. Ball goes to ground. Going for that sweep shot again. Alex Hartley wearing her sunglasses.
Corey Harden, huh?
I was going to do well there because the sun's just disappeared behind the stand away to our left. So anyway, maybe she's seen something we can't, as that's driven up towards mid-on by Elwes. The fielder is still out there in front of the pavilion, and it's a 62 for 3. I think I'm ahead of the scoreboard. Yes, 14 now to George Elwes, brings Kemp back on strike. She will give it a whack, Freya Kemp.
Oh, she's got the licence here to go at the short boundary.
She hasn't she?
Perfect. Just as we look out, the sun going down over.
It's nice, isn't it?
Beautiful.
What is that over? What area is that it's going down over?
Costa del Salford, mate, down over there. That's what that
I'm not sure the Costa del Sol's that close, Stuart, but...
No, it's Salford.
I know what you mean. That's driven up to mid-on. Salford's a lot of things, but I've never heard it called that. That's 63 for 3. What do I know? I'm only staying there, but I certainly don't know this area that well.
Just follow the sun, mate. Follow the sun, you'll find it.
What area is that towards about 10 o'clock as we look? You don't even know. Scott, you should know. Alison, you should know. You guys live up here. Stuart lives up this way. Now, there's a nice shot down the wicket and hit wide of mid-on. Quite deliberate there from George Elwes. That's 4 runs. Slightly across the line.
Yeah, great shot. Look, using your feet. Coming down. Alex Hartley held that one back slightly, but Elwes up to the challenge as well. Just smoked that over mid-wicket. Great shot, 4 runs.
One of the bigger overs in the game, not just at the Vipers innings. 10 runs off that Alex Hartley innings. Alison says it's over towards Liverpool. That sun is shining.
It certainly is.
Yeah.
Sun shines on Liverpool. I've got to say that.
I thought there was some rivalry, isn't it, between Manchester and Liverpool? Isn't it?
Oh, not in our household.
Oh, of course, because your wife's Liverpudlian, isn't she?
Well, she was a 10-pound pom, though. She was born in Adelaide.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
A 10-pound pom?
Well, that's what we called them back home. They came out on it. Wasn't that the case in the 60s?
Oh, on the boat?
On the boat.
Oh, right, yeah.
That's a tenner. Yeah, if you came back early, you had to pay full fare. So typical Scousers, they didn't pay full fare. They hung around. No, it's a great part of the world, Liverpool. Every time I go there, we have a great time. Oh, Alison, I'm sorry.
10-pound pom.
Present Scousers not included.
Laura Jackson with a right arm medium pace, switching in. She's at her commentary in now. First over went for 3, very tight, and bowls. She's round the wicket and playing a missing Freya Kemp outside the off stump.
No, she's been impressive too, hasn't she, Jackson?
She has.
She hasn't done anything special. She just run up and bowled a perfect line, perfect length, made it difficult for the batsman to get her away, and that's all that's required. sometimes you think you need to bowl slower balls, bumpers, Yorkers, everything. If you just run up and hit a spot where they can't hit it, keep doing that.
No, she has bowled a tight line, the first over especially. That's driven down the ground towards mid-on. There is a fielder below us, and that below us is Sophie Eccleston, and Kemp moves on to 2. It's 68 for 3. The Vipers need 27 or 46 deliveries here to keep their place. Well, they'll be at top of the table anyway, whatever happens, but certainly a win here will confirm their place with a round to go.
So it's funny, isn't it? You talk about bonus points. You know, if they're talking about that, you know, I'm a bit concerned when people start saying, oh, let's just go for the bonus point. You might get ahead of yourself. Most importantly, win the game. And if you get into a position where you're 2 overs out and you need 10 runs, well, go for it. If not, just win the game.
No, that's true. I mean, to be honest, I didn't really know the bonus point situation. There's a nice shot, just worked out to backward a point, just opened the face there, Georgia Elwes, and we'll pick up 2 runs, 72 for the 3. It's only because the team mentioned it to me about the bonus point, and I think, oh, really? I didn't know that. And it's almost like I wouldn't say they're obsessed by it, but it's very much in their psyche.
Yeah, you've got to be aware, obviously, but most importantly, you've got to win the game.
That is for sure. Jackson bowls, and she's found a little bit of room there outside the off stump. Elwes just dabs that down on the 45 and picks up a single. It's good batting from Georgia Elwes, using a lot of experience here, as Stuart Law said earlier, about just finding the gaps, playing percentage cricket, not trying to do anything too much out of the ordinary. She's on 21 from just 27, 71 for 3. The Vipers need 24 from 44.
Yeah, she's hitting the ball at different paces. She's used that dead bat for a single and the power over mid-on to hit the boundary.
Jackson round the wicket again and bowls. Kemp drives past some wide of mid-wicket, and that's going for 4. A little bit too full. And Kemp just hitting the bat through the line. And as I say, she's quite an attacking player. 17 years old, Freya Kemp. A very exciting prospect. Earlier in the Thunder innings, she picked up 2 for 20. From her 4 overs, and
wasn't it a great back of the hand slower ball that she bowled? Exciting, isn't it? 17 years old,
Georgie Boyce.
How good is that? You know, you come out. There's no fear. You're not, you know, clogged up by any baggage that if I do this and do that. No, you just go out and you just play the game that's in front of you, and it's so refreshing to watch.
It was, wasn't it? I mean, that slower ball. I mean, you dream about pitching it just right. Oh, Kemp goes for the huge heave and she's stumped. That's a good, smart, quick piece of wicket keeping there from Ellie Threlcold. And Fred just a pace or 2 down the wicket, trying to thump it away. And she goes, and it's now 75 for 4 here. I think that definitely tells us. I know we shouldn't talk too much about you're right, Stuart. No, but you are right. And there's no doubt about it. You know, teams can get into trouble trying to play tactically like that. But I think with a lowish total, and she's well out. Gosh, she was quick. She didn't have time to try and get the bat to her back. But we purred at that slower ball, didn't we, from Freya Kemp? You very rarely see slower balls as well as executed as that, and a batter completely bamboozled with a lack of pace as that. And it's great to watch.
It's perfect. The execution of it with the seam still bowled upright gives the impression that it's normal pace, but when you start your downswing to hit the ball, and it's nowhere near arriving. You think, my God, what am I doing? And you threw the shot and castled off stump. It was a great piece of bowling, and even the shot before. I mean, that was a leg stump half volley, but you still got to put it away. And the young girl whacked it beautifully. It was good shots.
Who had the best slower ball that you faced?
Ian Harvey was up there.
Right.
Ian Harvey bowled back of the hand slow ball. It started by Simon O'Donnell and Steve Waugh back in the 20th century. But Ian Harvey had a real good one, and he also had a great Yorker. And then for a little bloke, he got him through when he wanted to. Guys like Chris Cairns had a good one, a big off spinning like a baseball pitch. The curveball sort of went up and dipped down. Faced a few West Indians. They never bowled slower balls. They just had quicker balls.
They didn't need to bowl slower balls.
God, yeah.
75 for 4. Ella McGacken is the new batter for the Vipers. She's 18 years old, but she'll be the non-striker here as we have the start of a new over from Sophie Eccleston. This will be her last over, done for 17. And Laura Jackson has done a good job. 2 overs, 1 for 11 with that wicket. That's cut away, and it's fielded up back with a point. Save 4, but they'll come through for a single. 76 for 4. The Vipers need 19 off 41 here. And I'll just mention it quietly because Stuart's getting fed up of me mentioning about the bonus point, but 15.5 is what the Vipers are added for. He'll never work with me again. He's, James, he keeps talking about things I don't like. As that's a length ball, and that's played back to the bowler by McGacken.
Definitely not the case. Definitely not the case.
No, it's good fun. No, after all these years, it's great. You know, doing these things and working with guys that, you know, you've seen playing, you think, wow. Here comes Eccleston again, and that's just turned on the leg side. McGacken's off the mark. Called through quickly by Elwes.
So once again, a new batter on strike with the field spread. Get them in, stop the single, make them feel like they're under pressure, you know, and just get them to do something rash.
Because McGacken's in and out the side, of course, which doesn't help either, does it, when you've got batters like that. 77 for 4 then, halfway through the 14th is Eccleston. Bowls and Elwes drives. He's found the gap through extra cover. That's a lovely shot. That might just make it all the way. The chase is on and it goes over the rope. And as Stuart Law says, that is a super shot there. Just open the face of the bat into that gap.
This is what we see. We don't see the power like the men have, obviously, but what we do see is fantastic technique, which creates that power, the timing. And it's only got to get to the rope to go for boundary. It looks great when it sails, you know, out of the ground and what have you, but that beautiful cover drive just as effective and absolutely no risk.
No. 81 for 4, 14 off 38 as that's turned away on the leg side where there is plenty of room for a single, which I'm sure Stuart's still getting annoyed about. Bring that field up and put a bit of pressure on, but I suppose with Georgia Elwes now just starting to sort of find things a little bit easier now. It's probably difficult to have the field up for her, but certainly McGacken, and it's the same field on the leg side, or is it changing?
No, here we go.
Yeah, they've worked out that they're going to take a fielder away from the offside and bring one in that mid-wicket area that we've been talking about. Elwes on 27 from 30, McGacken 1 from 2, and it's McGacken to face. Eccleston, 1 ball left of her spell, left arm round, bowls, and McGacken works that between bowler and mid-wicket up towards deep mid-on. Maybe the mid-on should have been up there. And Elwes, it's a bit of a let-off ball, isn't it, for the new batter? It is, isn't it? It's a let-off shot.
Well, it is. It's actually not a bad result because now the new batter's on strike again for the start of the next over, but it's still 1 run. The only way that the Thunder can get back into this contest is take wickets. You know, if they've got any, you know, thought process they're going to win it, I'd rather see a quick death trying to get a victory than a slow death. You know, just have the field back and just milk the bowling, you know, ones here, easy, no pressure on the batsman whatsoever. Put pressure on the batter.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't like it as batters. You put pressure on us, we didn't like it, believe it or not. If you gave us no pressure, happy birthday, you know.
Did you used to like it early on in your innings, or maybe even the first ball, that if you saw a deep mid on or a deep mid off, you thought, oh, thank goodness for that?
Well, when I moved here, it was quite often that you come out the bat and the first ball is a deep point. And my get-off strike shot was a defensive shot to point. And I'm thinking, you beauty. 1, easy, get up the other end. The best place to face, you know, the bowlers from the other end, the old adage. And if they gave me that gap, I was happy. And they thought, oh, yeah, well, you're not getting 4 out there, are you? I said, OK. So about a couple of hours later, you started finding the boundaries, and you just play yourself in. It didn't make any sense to me, but I was grateful for the opportunity.
Kate Cross is coming in then with her last over, bowling right arm medium quick, and that's a nice drive up to mid-on. As Georgie Boyce throws at the bowler's end, but McGacken is home just. Good piece of fielding. The Vipers now need 11 off 35.
So here we go. We've got the fielders up. We've got mid-on, mid-off up. That was hit straight to mid-on. They took off, took a risk. I'd like to see this from side on, actually. I reckon that's tight, direct hit. You give the fielding side an extra, you know, yard with that direct hit. But they had to take a risk, and that's what we're talking about here. We got the field up on the offside and only 4 back on the onside.
Cross to Elwes. Elwes drives hard down towards mid-on. In fact, it's wide of mid-on, and it's going to be picked up. Oh, that's 4 runs for me. And it's that's 4 runs. In fact, the ball was just deflected onto the rope as well. Nice shot there from Elwes, and very nearly Georgie Boyce picked that up inside the rope. So that's a valuable 4 runs in terms of the Vipers trying to secure this bonus point. I know I'm going on and on and on, but in the end, Stuart Law will come around to my way of thinking.
If you can do it, great.
That's for sure, those.
Just don't lose the game.
That's true. 88 for 4, so 7 needed off 34. And the other way of looking at it is cross bowls, and Elwes drives, opens the face out towards a point, and I think that's Laura Jackson who's just deflected the ball on the offside. Oh my word, where's Ella McGacker going? She's a third of the way down the pitch and is sent back by Elwes. And the throw wasn't great anyway, so she's home. 89 for 4 off 14.3 overs. So effectively, the Vipers have 8 deliveries in which to secure these 6 runs. And then they will walk out of here with 5 points. I promise I won't mention it again. Here comes Kate Cross with 3 balls left of her final over. Comes in and bowls to McGacken. McGacken works that length ball up towards mid-wicket. That's a good stop. Very good stop, but they come through for a single anyway. Good stop from Sophie Eccleston there, getting low to her left. 90 for 4 now, the Vipers.
Yeah, she attacked that one-handed, didn't she, at mid-wicket there? And if she hadn't got a paw on, it would have been an easy boundary.
Field scatters a bit more on the leg side, but it's all saving one on the offside. As Cross comes in again and bowls, it's a low ball toss which is driven down the ground by Elwes. There should only be a single there as Boyce fields around to her left, and it's 91 for 4 now. The Vipers need 4 to win this game and make it 5 out of 5.
How many for the bonus point? How many balls left for the bonus point?
6. See, the next women's game you commentate on, yeah, you'll be aware of this now, won't you?
I will. I'll be straight onto it.
And you'll be able to bore everybody else in the box.
I'll bring my calculator to work it all out. Yeah.
You can bore everybody else in the box instead of me. Here comes Cross and bowls. That's outside the off stump. Elwes drives. That's a good stop in the covers. Just a little bit of width there from Cross, but Daniel Collins does well, and that is the end of her spell. Kate Cross, 4 overs, 1 for 24, 91 for 4. The Vipers need 4 from 30 deliveries. Is that it, Stuart? Sorry, mate. You got to be home early.
Sorry, Cav. Stuart's falling asleep listening to you. It's my turn.
I don't know.
I had to go and give him some Horlicks and tuck him up.
So, well, this will be a long stint for you, Alison, this one.
Now.
Look at that sunset there. Beautiful. On the live feed.
Beautiful.
That's what we can see about 10 o'clock as we look.
Okay, Kev, tell me about these bonus points then.
No, because I bored everybody stiff.
That you were talking.
Well, I was told.
No, please don't. I was actually being ironic.
I can give you a formula off air, to be honest.
Off air, yeah.
Off air.
Let's
I won't
watch
do it
the last 5 overs.
Yes, well, if it's 5 overs, it's 5 overs, because 30 balls technically are left in this game. 4 is required, 91 for 4. So 95 is the winning target after the Thunder made 94 for 6. Bit of a chat going on between Laura Jackson and not Threlcold, the captain, but I think it's Kate Cross, isn't it, up there having a chat.
Can't
and just
see the number.
Yeah, that is Kate Cross.
Okay.
Fielding at mid-on. Third goes back. That's Hannah Jones. Was up on the circle, now back. Fine legs back. Deep square leg. Here's Laura Jackson then with a right-arm medium paces. Start of a third over, and that's driven, half-stopped by Jackson. Palms it off to mid-off, and that's a single. Elwes with 34 now from 34.
I thought that was going to scrape under her bat for a second then.
Very nearly. She's bowled well, Laura Jackson. She's bowled a nice tight line tonight, isn't she?
Well, she's a great... I really rate this young lady. I think she's a great bowler.
Nice action. And that's a little bit wider. McGacken drives that hard up to mid-off, and it's only half-stopped. Not surprising, really. That was hit with a lot of power. Is that Georgie Boyce there, I think? Probably surprised.
I don't know if you recall, or you probably don't, maybe you didn't watch the game against the Diamonds, the first game, where she took the wickets of Winfield Hill and Skiver in consecutive overs, I think it was, within 5 or 6 balls of each other.
The Vipers have got 3 balls in which to get the bonus point, and they're driven hard, and that's gone through the field, and that is the game. Nice shot there from Georgia Elwes, who moves on to 38, and the Vipers finish on 97 for 4. They have won this game by 6 wickets quite comfortably, but from a Vipers point of view, and I know that's an important situation that they are very aware of in their dressing room, they pick up the bonus point, and 5 points they pick up in the game, and a very valuable 5 points as they seek to be the top 2 from the 2 groups that will play the final on finals day, rather than be one of the two teams that contests the semi-final. It was a bit one way, wasn't it, tonight, Alison?
Yeah, it was. But I think the girls put up a good performance in the field, bowled well. But, you know, Elvis played a quality innings there. She didn't overstretch. She played the ball late. She watched the ball carefully, played it into gaps, played the bad ball well. So 38 not out. Well deserved. Anyway, Kev.
Alison, it's been a pleasure. It's been lovely to work with you again. Honestly, seriously, it's lovely.
Bye.
I hope we do it again. Thank you. That's Alison Byrne, formerly of the Lancashire women's county team, as the two teams shake hands there and make their way off. Well, you kind of hope that the spectators that have stayed behind have kind of enjoyed another game to tag on to their day. It wasn't close, it wasn't exciting, but I think if you're somebody that doesn't watch a lot of women's cricket, then there's a lot to admire there, even though one side stood out and one side was a bit outplayed. But there's some plus points on both sides and some good cricket, but in the end, Vipers just proving a bit too strong, as they've done in their 5 games to date. That's twice they've beaten Thunder, at home and away now. And the Vipers top the group quite comfortably. I know Scott Reed's just come back. I could give you the group, Scott, if you...
Sure, go for it, yeah.
Well, the group now looks like this. The Vipers, this is Group 2, played 5, won 5, and they have 22 points now, ahead of Northern Diamonds, who have 14, Thunder have 5, and Lightning have 4, and there's 1 round to play this coming weekend.
Yeah, pretty emphatic that, wasn't it? But it's kind of what we thought might be the case. Just didn't feel like enough, did it, at the halfway stage. And when you look at the strength of the Vipers, it's a pretty impressive team, isn't it? And 5 from 5 is an outstanding start.
Certainly is. I've just been texted actually by the Hampshire photographer Dave Oakes, who knows a lot about bonus points and everything, even more than me, would you believe? He says with 23 points that actually now is the Vipers straight through to the final, and with Sparks, who lead Group 1 on 17, they can only get to 22 if they win. So the Vipers now have confirmed their place in the final on finals day and won't be contesting the eliminator.
Okay, thank you, Kevin. Well, congratulations to the Vipers for that impressive start. 5 wins from 5 is outstanding. Wasn't to be for the Thunder tonight. Well, still, it's been, I'm sure, a really special occasion for the Thunder players, playing the headline fixture in the evening after the men's match earlier on today. So it was a success for the men this afternoon, but it was a defeat for the women's side, the Thunder, in the evening fixture, and it means that the Vipers progress, having made it 5 wins from 5.
So yes, thank you to Scott and his commentary team, and Lancs TV has brought to you a very special day. It's provided 1 win for the team that you may all be watching to support, and 1 win for the visitors too, and a very impressive Southern Vipers team it was too, winning by 6 wickets. They go through to the semi-finals of the Charlotte Edwards Cup. We're joined by a former Lancashire captain, Alison Byrne. And Alison, just a word about the match first, and then your own experiences here as well at Emirates Old Trafford. It was a squeeze, as much as they could squeeze Thunder, but perhaps 20 runs short, and that's what told in the end.
Oh, definitely. I mean, you can tell why this team behind me here are top of the league at the moment. They showed true class today. I was very impressed with them, with their bat, with the ball. Fielding was exceptional. And I thought the Thunder put up a good show in the field. It was great to see them fight back, never gave in. And, you know, it bodes well for the future. 50-over game in the Rachel Hayhoe Flint tournament to come. Hopefully this won't have demoralised them too much and they can use it as a stepping stone. They've got Cross back, they've got Eccleston back, straight off the flight today. Hopefully when they've had a bit of sleep they'll come back with renewed vigour. And again, as you say, what a place to play cricket. Amazing, absolutely amazing.
Yes, and a word on that, because those who have been watching may have known about Alison, met Alison before and appreciated the important role that she's played in Lancashire women's cricket over the years, but you said that this is genuinely only the second time you've ever been out on the Old Trafford pitch.
Well, this is now fourth time.
Fourth, exactly. Yeah. Well, yes, if you count each and every time. Well, in that case...
Maybe fifth, can't wait.
There's been a real sense of occasion for everybody here,
Yeah.
but for you in particular, and given your relationship with the women's cricket movement in this place, you were rather emotional a little bit earlier on, and it's been a fantastic day for you too.
It was absolutely a shock to me, to be honest. Stood out in the middle at Old Trafford watching a professional women's game with women and girls from my county represented who'd also played for England and professionally. It's a long way from me driving the bus, making the sandwiches, making the phone calls, giving out the maps at the start of every match. The girls didn't get lost, so fantastic, so happy. It's amazing.
Do you need a special license to drive a bus, or did you just wing it?
I say bus, it was my car really. We used to cram as many people in it as we could.
I was going to say, I hope you better not be admitting to that.
It may as well have been a bus, yeah.
And it is not doing down the Thunder side to look at this Vipers team and to appreciate that there is a great deal more experience in that side and to have something to aim at as well, because there are skills displayed, there is efficiency displayed, there is consistency displayed that they can all aim at too.
Absolutely. You know, anyone can learn from excellence, whatever field, and you can't deny that they were an excellent side, and that's what we need to strive to be. We are a very, very, very good side. We're not far away.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed the experience of spending at least 1 or 3 of those times that you were on the pitch with us. So thank you very much indeed.
Can I just thank everybody here?
Yes, of course you can.
For coming. I know they've all gone home now, but you can't have a spectator sport without spectators, and all the staff and crew from Lancashire for hosting it so beautifully.
Well, I imagine your
and
words
yourself,
shared by...
of course.
Well, of course, obviously the most important, but I imagine those sentiments shared by the players as well, who are just taking their leave and have had a fantastic day, and some of them signing autographs as well. And to you for your company as well, not only Alison, but to Stuart Law and the commentary team as well. We are back, of course, on Friday. It's a very special day for another female in this country, it must be said, on Friday, and we'll be playing our part here on Lancs TV. So thanks so much. A win for the Lightning, a win for the Vipers too. Thanks for your company for a very special day, and we hope for another one on Friday.